Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MotoOption Supercross. From Marmora, New Jersey, riding for Heckman Productions SYS Racing, number 4, Jeremy Smith. From France, riding for Impact, number 22, Nathan Prin. From Tampa, Florida, riding for JIBR.co, 2021 MX Simulator National Champion, number 5, Tyler Lang. From Lillington, North Carolina, riding for TSCZ Productions, number 11, Luke Sullivan. From Watkins Glen, New York, riding for Phil Ski and Snowboard, number 12, Braden Castellaneta. From Shawnigan Lake, Canada, riding for District Designs, number 24, Colby Eagland. From Matawan, Michigan, riding for Phil Ski and Snowboard, number 78, Jacob Hubbard. From France, riding for Phil Ski and Snowboard, 2018 Supercross champion, number 7, Alexis Leclerc. From Scottsdale, Arizona, riding for District Designs, 2022 MX Simulator National Champion, number 51, Payson Johnson.
That's the stupid truth. I slap a booty red, attach it to a bed, then I use it loose. Cruise ahead, patty bang it through the roof and do a doggy till I get charged with animal abuse. Alive and living, I've been a hard-headed victim ever since I saw death in the car. Recollection from bars, reckless drinking from hard sex with women and getting tatted like a walking, talking art exhibition. Listen, I just want the amazing life that Jay-Z has. Replaced Mercedes Jags, ladies banging me the lazy jazz. But rap is tough, I have to hustle like a crazy ass. The most underrated is what you could rate me as. I'll take these jabs, you make me bleed, but you won't make me spaz. I wait and choke you like Connor facing lazy ass. My dad passed before he got the 41. That's when I knew no one's important or immortal, son. We're all just drums, me, I'm only in it for the fun. I came to spray the the audience with champagne and water guns. And when I go, I pray to God my friends pour me some gin on my grave like my name was Jim Morrison.
Rewind it.
Check the tape.
Win the Anaheim opener in 2000. Braden Carter's going to win tonight in Anaheim through to win the Seattle Supercross.
2022 Supercross champion.
From Costa Mesa, California, riding for Phil's Ski and Snowboard, your two-time and defending Supercross champion, number 1, Braden Carter. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in. It's round 8 of the 2023 MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross Championship here in MX Simulator. Wow, I am back. Kellen Brower back in studio this week alongside Andrew Wood, who carried you guys all the way through the Arlington Triple Crown last week. Of course, a big thank you, Andrew, for being here and doing that for us. But I am back. We're going to co-host the stream together for round 8 of this championship here at Daytona. Daytona, always a fun race of the year. It's kind of the midpoint of the season, of course, but it's also a very unique racetrack because it's an elongated supercross with a lot of rough sections, sand sections, and a lot of other things as well. So before we jump into that, Andrew, first of all, thank you for last week being there and streaming the race. What are some takeaways that we're going to carry with us from that Triple Crown last week into Daytona this tonight?
I feel like we had a lot of guys kind of get lucky from last week. Being a Triple Crown, you saw a lot of cracks in the armor from a lot of our, in both classes, our championship leaders, Bryce Whelan, Leclerc, Braden Carter, Payson Johnson. Everyone really had a bad round, but kind of got escaped a little unfazed due to it being a Triple Crown. So I think we're going to have to keep an eye on those guys bouncing back and putting in a good, long, solid race. Being an outdoor kind of style track, it's a little tricky. So we'll see who can kind of survive Daytona. Absolutely.
Well, it is a long track, like you say. We're going to go ahead and start off by looking at our qualifying times here from tonight, which Braden Carter has gone fastest at a 1:18.914, which is almost a whole second faster than anybody else, which is Payson Johnson second on a 1:19.804. Leclerc, Hubbard, Shirley, Eagland up there in the mix as well. Eagland last week's winner. What I'm noticing here, though, is, I mean, aside from that breakaway time, more or less, from Carter, you kind of have all of our big players pretty well close together. You have Leclerc, Hubbard, Johnson, all within a half second or so of each other. Could present some interesting, race situations tonight if the lap times are going to remain close like that.
Yeah, the points in this class are really, really close. So you got to keep an eye on those spoilers. If Hubbard, Shirley, Eagland can kind of continue to assert themselves up in front of the field and kind of play spoiler with this top three that are battling for the championship, it's going to be interesting. Seeing the times that spread apart on this long of a track doesn't really have me worried. It's going to change a lot when these guys really get into racing and the track starts breaking down. So I'd keep an eye on some of those guys a little further down the list.
Moving over to our 250 class, Rasmus Balzer, fresh off of the win at the Triple Crown last week at a 1:23.406, goes fastest. Colin Allen, Bryce Whelan, Evan Holt, Alec Horn, all in the mix. Kind of a similar story here. I guess we're looking at some closer times as we get kind of down past P5. But Balzer, I mean, we know he's fast. He's always been ridiculously fast in qualifying, but now to finally have it with a win in his back pocket coming into a round like this with that time, just seems like the ball's rolling for Balzer here.
Yeah, I think I knew you were going to do that. I think it is. He's coming on strong right now. Like we talked about a little bit earlier, though, he did miss a round this year from a suspension. So he's not really in this championship fight. So he's kind of playing spoiler. But we have seen Colin Allen with a great finish last week, kind of starting to get up there. I don't really know if anyone's that close to Bryce Whelan, though. So I feel like this one is kind of his to lose right now. And he's always looking great in qualifying and always brings it around to the races. So going to be a fun night.
Let's quickly go over our standings coming off of round 7 at Arlington last week, which Colby Eagland won. But Braden Carter was able to still get on the podium despite a rough middle race there. And Carter is going to end up with an 18-point lead in the championship over Payson Johnson at this point in time, 19 over Leclerc, getting to the point where it's almost a full race distance for Carter. And Eagland just trying to hold on and be with those guys. The same for Hubbard, but they're already a full race distance behind. Castellaneta down in P6, 2 full race distances behind already. And looking at our championship standings, like you said, Bryce Whelan, a little bit of a breakaway thus far, 70 points for him, 14 back to Zollers. Cody Cooper there in P3 with 22 down, and then everybody behind that already a full race distance down. So we're already starting to see separation really in both classes as we get into the middle point of each championship. This is round 4 of 250 East, of course, and round 8 of 450 action. So enough of all this preview action. Let's go ahead and jump in the server and get ready to go racing here tonight at Daytona. Make sure that it looks like everyone is getting ready to go. We got 450 and 250 heat races coming up. 250 heat race number 1, of course, will be going first. They will go 6 minutes plus a lap, and the top 9 riders transfer to the main event. But an interesting dynamic with this racetrack and with those lap times that we can talk about, I guess, is the fact that the longer lap times will actually make the track, less breakdowny, less the road won't break down the track as much because there's not going to be as many laps done on this track here. So even though Daytona is considered that rough, hard track for these MX Simulator players out there, it might actually not be as bad as we think.
Yeah, I do think it starts a little bit rougher, which can kind of feed into that. Yeah, but less laps, less guys circulating on the track is definitely going to kind of change it up as far as the track breaking down. But going to be interesting to see if the different dirt types will break down a little bit differently. Those sand sections having a different tile map than kind of the rest of the track. So going to be kind of neat to see what we're doing as we're flying over the starts right here. So they come in. This is actually the same track we had last year, minus like 2 jumps are different, but you see that there's already ruts on the face of those step-on, step-off tabletops as we go through that section. So they do make it a little bit rough, some braking bumps coming off this long roller here, some tricky sand rollers. These are really, really high-speed sections, and you got a lot of different line options in the corners. So a lot of different guys going to be going inside and outside here. I do think that this track will still break down, and that will become a factor for some of these guys, but this might be a little sneak preview, too, on outdoors. Always kind of is. And you kind of see different guys excel here when we get to this racetrack. And, series does start in Daytona. So, I mean, it's up for debate. But some of these guys with Braden Carter kind of pulling away, he's going to need to kind of step up and do this. We know he's great at outdoors. But look at these long, fast rhythm sections, big jumps, huge triples. And we're going to see some carnage. If I remember correctly, last year, got a little bit of carnage right there. You see that there's a little broken down right side line coming out of the inside into these offset doubles right there coming into that corner, split lane section into this wall tunnel jump, and then a little gator pit to wall, and then yeet off the finish line. And there we go. Can't do a backflip, I don't think, but look at that super long track, always kind of what we're used to at Daytona. And I'm excited. It's gonna be a good race, and I like Ricky kind of saying he kind of wanted the same track layout, which is kind of cool to see if it changes up and different guys succeed just on a different night.
Yeah, well, like you said, we get a bit of a preview of outdoors with this racetrack. And thinking back to last year's Daytona MX Simulator Supercross, Tyler Lang got his first win of the year at Daytona last year and carried it into another win, I think, the next week at Indy. And those were his only 2 wins of the year. But Lang, of course, coming off of that 2021 outdoor championship, really rolled the momentum well into an outdoorsy race like this Daytona Supercross. So, maybe we do see Payson Johnson be a little bit better than we've seen the past couple weeks here tonight. Maybe he is a bit more consistent. Maybe he's, we know he's fast, but maybe he's more consistently fast. And maybe we see some more of those outdoor specialists kind of shine through. Like you said, it could be a bit unique results here tonight, as we see it's a rather unique track at Daytona every single year. Like you said, though, very similar racetrack to last year. Almost nothing in terms of the actual overhead layout has changed. Just a few sections are a little bit different. Just thinking about the way that we saw this track race last year and maybe looking at it now, where are you seeing these passing opportunities come through tonight, Andrew? Is it going to be those switchbacks? Is the whoop sections going to be treacherous? Or are we going to see some different places that are going to be good spots for these guys to make those passes?
I feel like you got to kind of keep an eye on some of the longer rhythm sections. At the top left of our screen right here as we're loading in. And then the bottom right, that section with the triple and then into the whoops as well. I don't think we'll see too much action in the split lanes. But a lot of the switchbacks, I feel like kind of everywhere. A lot of tracks, you're like, oh, there's more 90s. Nothing's really going to happen. There's so much opportunity for mistakes, especially on a high-speed track when guys are still trying to run Supercross suspension or close to it. And then a lot of these tight corners, as they do break down coming in and out of the sand. So I feel like kind of everywhere, but I would keep an eye on some of those longer sections when there's opportunity to make a mistake in a high-speed section and someone can gain up a lot of ground on you.
What do we think about as you go over the finish line, jump into that rhythm section? There's 4 rollers there, but you're turning on those rollers as well. It's not perfectly straight going into that. Is that something that you see maybe being a bit of a problem area for these guys tonight, especially if it gets, a little bit rougher and more broken down? Some guys maybe swapping out going into those rhythm sections at high speed?
Yeah, I think it's more about focusing. I feel like you can sweep it pretty good. It's not too much of a kink, but coming into that first big, it's going to be, like a triple or quad in as these guys are carrying such high speed. So coming off of those rollers, getting that timing right, coming into that, whatever you do for your first jump, I think could be important. But I think we'll kind of see, even in the heat races, at least the sections and where they start to break down more so than others. So, some of they actually do break down differently. The sand breaks down differently from the brown dirt, dark dirt. And then when you get to the actual clay, it all happens differently. And so you do have that brown dirt going into the hard clay rhythm section. So I think it'll be an interesting spot, but maybe not as big of an issue.
Yeah, it's one of the little known things about the erode system in MX Simulator with the way that the Race Factor Gaming track crew tends to build these tracks. This is one of the few rounds that you can actually see it. There are different areas of dirt that will break down differently, but most of the time they actually do build the tracks so that the corners maybe get a little bit more rutted, and then the straightaways are not as rutted, especially like a start straightaway will stay usually pretty hard packed, just to try to mimic what we expect to see out of real life, which is, more of those blue groove sections on the straight areas, but obviously it breaks down a little bit harder in the corners, especially when you're digging those rear tires down on a 450. As we load back in, looks like we got to get a quick disconnect and reconnect. And also a quick shout out in chat to Kyle Miller for a $1.99 donation. Says Daytona 2012 and 2013 were the same. Don't actually remember that, but
I don't either.
I'll believe it and trust the process that he is correct there, Mr. Kyle Miller. All right, so let's get racing tonight, folks. 250 heat number 1 is out there. They're getting ready to go racing. Colin Allen, Christopher McPherson Jr., Alec Horn, Rasmus Balzer, your fastest qualifier, is right here as well. Alex Zellner, Nathan Guy, John Heilman, Brett Powers, Tyler Nichols, Cowan Formaguina.
Wow.
I think that's how you say that
was
name.
Impressive. You got that quick.
As they're all ready to go racing. And like I said, 250 heat number 1, only 9 riders go through to that main event. So it is crunch time for some of these guys to try to make it in and make it through as fast as possible, not have to go to that last chance qualifier if need be. But it is time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to start racing here tonight at Daytona. 250 heat 1 on the gate. Let's get ready and drop the gate here in Daytona. A little bit of bumping and banging in that first corner, and someone gets pushed wide and goes down. It's going to be Colin Allen grabbing the whole shot, though. The OnlyFans unbanned SWAT team out here is going to get past, though, as Rasmus Balzer, your fastest qualifier, makes quick work down the inside on the 35, and into the lead goes the Rapid Dane.
Oh, yeah. You see that after that quick pass, Colin Allen really struggling in that first rhythm section. Oh, and he's going to slide out, but catches it just at the top of the berm. Still going to be able to hold on. Allen having a little bit of trouble with some of these bigger lines on the 250, so something to keep an eye out. And we see that inside-outside work in there. Balzer almost going to get the drive back. Let's see. These guys are coming up side by side in this corner here.
Oh, Balzer with the little wheelie into the face right there. But he's getting pushed wide, and Allen is going to retake the lead. So a nice move by Colin Allen. And we can already see some of these inside-outside options in these corners presenting themselves. I think most of the time the inside options are really the best option, but you can see these 250 guys not able to go inside roll triple.
Ooh, dualies.
I know, dualies, love it. As we are back racing. Oh my goodness, Balzer almost through the front door, and now Allen into the whoops, went off the track on the inside right there. So Balzer's going to start fighting back as they go into the split section. Let's see if they split lines. They do, inside outside, and we get this great view coming at us as inside Balzer's going to try to take the lead, and he's got it.
That was an amazing pass right there by Balzer. That low line, hitting that low kind of wedge jump into the outside, it looked like he just shot forward because he wasn't being sent up as high, and he was able to rail those corners and make that work. But I don't want to take anything away right now. And oh my God, big line. And
down.
He is cartwheeling, and he is done. Colin Allen slowing up. He didn't want to be any part of that. He's just hit the brakes. Let's see, this triple on right here is where he was struggling. Oh, he gets a good run. I think he just, Balzer made the pass last time, might not have gotten the drive. But look at these guys just sending it. And these guys have so much speed coming in.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what lines these guys are going to prefer, because I feel like we're going to see some different options from the 250 guys versus the 450 guys, based on the fact that those 250 riders need to carry a little bit more momentum, especially in these sand U-turns and stuff like that. You might see them go outside a little bit more often. So far, the lines have been kind of split, though. Outside, inside options kind of a plenty. All these guys, look at it, even right here, Nygren going outside to get this double clean, even though Colin Allen went inside to get it. And then again right here, outside triple over versus inside, and then still just trying to do this double single to the triple face. So a couple different options already that we're seeing out of the 250 class. Interesting that it might race that way as well.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I don't want to take anything away too early here in the race, as we saw, Balzer get past going outside in the sand. Maybe he got a bad drive, or Allen kind of ripped the inside. Allen switching it up after getting past with that outside line. So he's changing up his lines a little bit here, using some racecraft to kind of test out different lines on the track. Maybe you had your qualifying lap and you thought it was the fastest, but the track races a lot differently, and coming inside out of that corner before the finish could be important here. But so this is that tricky one there. It's all about that balance, that timing you get. He almost goes through the front door as well.
Yeah, that's a really curious section. I'm interested to see how many guys. Yeah, a lot of guys going for that over double option. I didn't expect that to be the main line. I was expecting that one to be the option. But look at everyone going for this
that too.
Over double. Alec Horn going triple quad right there.
That's huge.
So that is a big line, and if you can do it consistently,
oh my.
I thought he was going into the face.
Yeah, me too.
That one, I guess he was going a little bit slower than we expected.
It's checked up a lot more from that camera view.
Oh, man. So Heckman through here. We got Powers. We got Evan Holt also in the mix. And Alex Zellner is currently in the final transfer spot as we work our way back a little bit. Zellner is actually going to pass momentarily Trent Adams. So Adams actually falls back into that final transfer spot. Oh, and then he passes Zellner right back. So we're just going back and forth here. Meanwhile, P2 in the championship, Talon Zollers is outside looking in right now for the Covenant program. He's trying to make his way in out of 10th spot. He's got to be in the top 9 to make it through.
Yeah, and he's got to make some moves here as we see a rider going down there.
That is Adams again. Going to get past. So Sun now falls back into the 10 spot. Zollers moves up to 9th. And more guys collecting on the tunnel as Sun goes down. And more guys clipping the tunnel. It's like Cody Shock back there. Rough life out here as we go into the whoops with some of these guys up ahead. And Alec Horn's down after the whoops even. So more crashes in this 250 division. Looks like everything's really kicked off on lap 4. Now, do we think that's a product of this track being tricky, or the track already breaking down and catching these guys off a little bit?
I think the track being tricky, I don't see too much, but like we said, the track does start with some ruts and a little bit more bumps than you would normally see. They kind of almost a little bit of pre-erode, pre-breakdown here. So maybe some of those guys are having issues. We see Powers slowing up there, switching up his line. So that over triple quad line is definitely the fastest line through there by a long shot, but it looks dangerous, and that's where we see a lot of mistakes as we see Horn getting by. Now he's pulling up onto Heckman.
Yeah, we got a little group right here. Balzer has slipped back into this pack after his crash with Colin Allen up there. He's going to make a pass down the inside of Evan Holt, but 4 or 5 riders nose to tail right here, and it's a long gap up to Colin Allen, who looks like he just dumped it, which means Brandon Nygren has gone to the lead, and by quite a ways, actually. He is not in the vicinity of anybody else as he comes all the way to the far end of the circuit here at Daytona. Into the whoops he goes, and nobody in the background behind him. Nygren out front in cruise control.
No, and he's got to be slowing down through the whoops there and just saying, I just got to survive this. They had that kind of breakaway pack, and then with Allen going down, he's just kind of all on his own. It's got to be nice for him to at least be able to relax his, relax a little bit, stop thinking about it so much, and just kind of try to ride the track and prepare for the main event. Nygren's been close these last couple weeks, had a couple great rides and good heat races, but never really able to put it all together. So good to see him out here just kind of going around cruising, doing a little bit safer line right there. It might not be as fast, but it's all about whatever gets you, to the end, to the checkered flag first. That's why he's so far out front here, is he's not putting it all on the table and crashing like everyone else is.
Another thing about this is apparently there was a qualifying version of the track here today, so I think it was a little bit smoother than what we're seeing. This one is a little bit rougher already, and because of that, I think some of these guys have been caught out by the fact that the last hour they've been riding more or less a different track, a lot of lines and different things that haven't been developed yet. So it might be a bit unique to see. Look at Balzer wheeling into the sand rollers right there. Might be interesting to see as we go on in the night show here. These guys figure out the track a little bit more, and maybe some of those options that we're already seeing with the triple, over the quad table type of thing versus triple onto the table type of thing. Maybe it's almost like a dartfish scenario where these guys all figure it out by the time we get to the main event. Everybody's doing the same thing.
Yeah, I think they will. And when they, it's been probably 15 minutes. I feel like the guys in the, 250 or heat number 2 and then the 450 races as well will have been practicing a little bit as Balzer gets a little bit sketchy there. And they'll kind of figure out the nuances of what comes along with this little bit rougher track. But I feel like the guys are able to pick it up a little bit quick, or they can pick it up pretty quick. They're just maybe this first heat a little bit caught out there. And Balzer, man, showing us some insane speed as he's pulling up on Chromie. Balzer has been looking great recently, and he looks really nice on this track.
Yeah, fired up off after that win at Arlington last week as they go over the finish line jump. I don't know if Chromie thought the checkered was out, but he grabbed a handful of brakes right there after the finish line jump. So Balzer makes the pass, but Chromie's coming fighting back. He's going to triple onto the table to the outside. No. Oh, he just wants to let Balzer by. He doesn't want to get involved here. He's in third place. He's got a lot of time back to that final transfer spot, and a lot of times it's just about making the main event for these guys. It doesn't really matter about their gate pick.
Yeah, that's really interesting. They're not like teammates. I feel like they're not like friends. Balzer pretty sure is from a different country than Chromie, but I mean, we'll see. I want to point out that coming out of that outside line there, they get dangerously close to the bales, and I feel like that's an issue that a lot of these guys are going to have. Is Balzer makes a mistake and actually triples onto that table into the bales. Chromie's going to get a free pass going by there. Balzer now just getting up.
But he gets plowed down. Colin Allen taking no prisoners here tonight, just putting Balzer right back on the ground. Evan Holt's able to go by before Balzer remounts now in 5th position, but that is a little bit costly. He's going to end up about 10th gate pick here with that selection, so he'll hurt from that one a little bit. Meanwhile, up front, final straightaway, bit of a dominance here by the end of it. Brandon Nygren has pulled away, and the Boots House Dr. Do racing machine of Brandon Nygren takes the win here in 250 Heat 1. He's stoked. He's going to go shredded up on the high banks already. He's going to do some burnouts before we even get to the main event. Roasted rear tire Earth 4. As Matt Chromie comes down to the wall jump, he's going to cross the line up here in 2nd place. P4 in the championship goes to the main easily with Colin Allen right behind him. Holt goes across in P4 with Balzer back in 5th. Horn is in 6th. Zoller 7th. Zellner in 8th. And it looks like Trent Adams has 9th, all but locked up here.
Yeah, Trent Adams coming around with that final transfer spot. What's really I kind of seeing is, or I'm really interested to see what Bryce Whelan does here. Because he's separated himself so much in the few rounds that we've had in this 250 East Coast class so far. And I don't see anyone stepping up. I think he has an 18-point lead already over 2nd in the championship. And these guys, it's fun and interesting to see different names having great rides and performing, but I feel like someone needs to step up in the championship like tonight, or else I feel like it could just be a runaway. I mean, we haven't even gotten to the race yet. I don't want to call it before anything happens, but one of these guys needs to figure it out. If I see Alan, move. If I see Alan riding great, he's a little bit further back in the points. Zollers is second in the championship, but he hasn't been having as great rides as he needs to. So really just interesting, this 250 class. There's so much diversity as we've seen that
in the burnout.
Just ripping the burnout.
Clicking gears.
Fifth wide right there. You love to see that for the fans, celebrating. I mean, they wouldn't need to change it, but might as well roast it if you got it.
Another thing too is that, sometimes, fortunately, you and I, we got some rather big wins in our careers, but sometimes a heat race win can be a big win for these guys. It's pretty hard to be really good at this game. So to win anything at this level can be a pretty cool feat, and even a heat race win. I mean, I dig it. Celebrate it. Burn up a rear tire.
I actually recently, maybe like a month ago, I looked on the forums and there was the updated all-time stats, and obviously just wanted to go through to see my name on the moto and then more important, overall wins list. But if you go look in like the 12-year history, whatever RF has been around, there's not that many like outdoor moto winners. Not that many you keep scrolling and you're like, wait, that's it? So these people normally stack them up. So if you get a heat race win, 250 class, I don't care, split coast, you celebrate that, because some guys, it's going to be their only one. You're going to be like me 10 years later being like, oh, remember that one time I won that one moto? Yeah, that was sick. Like, I'll take that to my grave. I was the best that day, and because I was never really that good. So you got to celebrate, whatever you can here. Even LCQ wins, take them. Maybe not so much celebrate those, more as just a sigh of relief, but, take whatever you can.
I absolutely agree. Miko in chat, by the way, says, Kellen, will we ever get a keyed show for MX Sim? I mean, I don't know. Do people really... Should Awood and I bust out the GoPro after the race and go walk around the neighborhood and talk about the sim race? I don't think so. I don't think people really care that much about it. But
right now, it's cold.
It's pretty cold out here right now, so maybe not tonight. But that would be kind of fun. Maybe after like the championships all said and done, we do a little bit of like a season review or something like that. But I don't know about the keyed show. I think maybe more than anything, we could do like a SMX Insider post-race show type thing where Ricky and Lee talk about the race or whatever. But I don't know about busting the GoPro out.
I was going to say, I feel like we used to do it a lot in outdoors, but just, turn our webcams on and kind of open it up to the chat to kind of kill some downtime. Maybe do some of that 15 minutes or whatever after the race, take some questions from chat. I feel like that's something that would be a little bit more in the realm of possibilities, a little bit easier to handle, but I'm definitely open. I love when we do get questions from the chat too. So it's really nice having you guys participate, and try to keep an eye on it whenever we can. It's hard during the action, but can try to pick up some questions and answer them between the races here.
Absolutely. All right, here is 250 heat number 2 going to the line. Joey Arico, Cody Kopp, a bunch of other people out there as well as we get ready to drop the gate on their heat race. Top 9 go to the main event, just like we saw from that first 250 heat race action. So we're going to get ready to go here and see who makes it through. We're also going to see Bryce Whelan, our 250 East Championship leader in this one, see how he's able to do. But here we go, folks. 250 heat number 2 on the gate. Who's going to make it to the main event and who still has some work to do? Let's find out right now. 250 heat 2 in Daytona.
Oh, great jump right there.
Yeah, Whelan, we know he's a great starter, and from that inside gate, he's going to control it all the way through as our championship leader and reigning 250 East champion. Bryce Whelan rips the whole shot. He's out front right there with Joey Arico on the Pro Line 33, and already a little bit of a gap established as everybody else got kind of mixed up in the background. So Whelan trying to streak away as Arico follows him through here in second place.
Yeah, I'm 99% sure Thomas Unis was one of the guys that wadded up back there because he wears the all white looking like the Stig. So having a huge crash back there. But look at this. Another pass, first lap, inside line, and Whelan trying to battle back. Exactly.
Oh! Arico clips the rear tire on that last sand roller and goes down hard. I did a couple laps on this track earlier, and I had one of those exact same crashes. That last roller in the sand section is brutally tall compared to the rest of them. Whelan gets kicked around a little bit as well. So Arico's going to have some work to do. Meanwhile, Brandon Holmes has gotten up into second place, but he's going to get past, it looks like, Riley Hewen. Love to see it, dude. This triple's going to give us
close
the heat
as you could
all
get.
night. Hewen gets tossed, dude. You can't throw dualies with someone and then take them out, dude. Come on
the next corner.
Ridiculous, Brandon Holmes. Check yourself, dude. What are we doing out here? Dre Smith
Red
moves
flag.
up. red flag.
Yellow, like a yellow card, like soccer. Come on, like a red card.
He's got to start in reverse in the main event.
Yeah.
Dre Smith moves up into third place, though. Cole Gress right behind him. And Race Cobble of Neverland looks like he's making one of his first appearances of the year tonight. I've not seen him out here, so good to see a fresh face up in the mix. Austin Bridges, Cody Kopp, Riley Hewen, and Nick Tomasunis looks like he's rounding out our final transfer spot right now. So shout out to the MXLocker.com 79 machine. Let's see if he can hold on and try to make his first main event of the season. Might actually make a pass right here as he gets through the middle of these guys. We got a huge stack up in the corner. Someone gets ran up high and tripling over top right there. Riley Hewen's passing Tomasunis back. Tomasunis in 8th. Crotty now in the final transfer spot in 9th. Kicking off a little bit here. Oh, someone goes flipping in there. That's Austin Bridges. Looks like he got the moguls section a little bit awry.
Yeah, you see a lot of those guys. Man, I love this pack right here. These guys are just going at it back and forth, back and forth. And yeah, you want to ride that rear wheel there, trying to get over that, stay low. But look at that, a little pass up the inside. Not even really sure if it was a pass because if it was ever completed, but Hewen trying to hold on here. These guys are just going at it. Tomasunis frames it. Gets landed on in the front flip.
Who was
right
that? That was
Crotty.
Crotty front flipping off of Tomasunis and saving. It looks like he's going for the double stack right there as he almost went over the bars again. Now he's got Gerst, Sonny Spicer closing up from behind as Spicer goes into the final transfer spot. Unfortunate for Tomasunis as he had cased that double coming out of that corner and just got absolutely sauced and tossed to the ground. Spicer going sideways, getting kicked around. He's going to go down. Two guys going down in the background. Looks like one of those Crash Madness VHS tapes back from 1998 back there. As guys are going down everywhere. So Crotty getting away scot-free from this. Gerst now dealing with pressure from Carson West. Let's figure out where everyone's at. West is in 8th. Cody Kopp is in 9th, but not for long. He's going to go back to 10th as Race Cobble makes the pass. And the battle for the final transfer spot now goes to a battle for 8th and 9th as it looks like Hewen was down after the finish line jump again. Cobble's jumping off the track. He's going left to right. We got guys getting back on the track in front of him here. Catch the fever, folks. It's 250 heat race action, and it's getting hot and heavy as here comes Tomasunis now tripling in with Hewen. This is 10th and 11th right behind this battle, and it's anybody's race for these final transfer spots right now.
I can't wait for the LCQ if this racing's already getting this spicy right here. These guys are just all over the place. So many different lines on this track, though. Daytona always races great in sim, especially, and real life, sometimes. But it's so awesome seeing these guys have so many different options here and able to switch it up, and they're just dicing all over the place. A lot of room to move around. Looks like Carson West goes down. He's going to get passed along the outside there, and he's coming up. So is he now in the transfer spot?
Yeah, he is in 9th, and Hewen is still right behind him with Tomasunis lurking in the background. Hewen actually almost had the pass sized up on Cobble, but because Carson West was down in front of him, Hewen had to back out of the challenge. So now it's West on the final transfer spot, and another rider down. That's the 71 right there, as Cody Kopp went down as well. So a couple guys getting past. Looks like Hewen is going to shoot up into the final transfer spot, but now Tomasunis jumps in. He goes down, brings Hewen with him, and slicing through all of this is Austin Bridges, who had cartwheeled through the moguls earlier. I think he has now moved into the final transfer spot. Yep. He has. He's up in the 9th with Hewen still right behind him.
I don't even know how to commentate this race. I don't know where anyone is. I don't know what's going to happen. I just can't wait for the crashes. We should almost just pull it out of wide angle and just kind of watch the cartwheels everywhere.
Bridges makes a mistake. Here comes Hewen. Hewen gets the triple on, but he cased it. So now Bridges has an opportunity to fight back. He's not going to go for the challenge, though. Instead, Hewen gets onto the table and off cleaner, and now has opened up a little bit of an advantage from 9th place as he tries to reel in some of the guys ahead of him. Brandon Holmes. Carson West is in 7th. Race Cobble 6th. You got Gerst 5th. Dre Smith in 4th. Crotty 3rd. Cole Gress is down in 2nd, so Crotty's going to go up into that 2nd position. Meanwhile, out front, Bryce Whelan has absolutely got his checkbook out, and he is taking this class to the cleaners right now. He's got a huge lead in this 250 East heat number 2. Let's see if he gets back to the flag in time. It's going to be really close. We got 13 seconds on the clock, and it is going to be real nip and tuck right here.
Ooh, I don't know. It's slowing down. I forgot we got a wall here.
5 seconds. 4,
hit the brakes.
3, 2,
he's good.
1, and white flag is out. Wow, just as time expired. So close right there for Whelan, but he is cruise control out front at the moment. Crotty here with Gress, Gerst, and Smith. Nice little 4-rider train battling it out kind of for second. Really a good one here between Smith and Gerst, still going at it for 4th place. Nice ride by Dre Smith as well, up inside the top 5 here.
Yeah, a lot of new faces that we don't really see too much. That's the fun part about this 250 class is a lot of these guys a little bit more inexperienced, as you can tell sometimes by their racing. But you always get kind of new names in the field. Someone steps up and someone, gels with the track and is able to kind of make a statement and get a career finish. So good ride so far in this heat by Dre Smith. And it's funny looking at Crotty and Whelan back up front. I almost forgot those guys were in the race. And then they also, Crotty, it's such an eventful first couple laps. It's only been a 5-lap race. These lap times are so long here. But so much has happened. Oh, we see Dre Smith trying to wheelie over the top, drops the front, and rides the nose wheelie, able to save it. He's all sorts of flustered now as he slides out.
Yeah, just trying to keep it on 2 wheels and actually make this main event for Dre Smith right now. Actually, battle going on for 3rd place. Gerst has dropped Smith, closed up to Cole Gress in front of him. He's trying to make this pass into P3 on the final lap. And I think our leader had just gone down. Whelan is now right in front of Crotty as we come to the checkered flag here in a couple corners. Could get a little bit dicey. Let's see if Crotty's got this inside line working. Whelan's already out of there. Up and over the tunnel jump. Final time, though, and despite a late crash, it will be the number 1 of our red plate holder defending champion. Bryce Whelan takes 250 Heat 2 here at Daytona.
And they tossed them. A great ride there by those two. Cole Gress with a close 3rd, though, and Dre Smith, awesome for him. Not even that far behind here in 4th. Going to celebrate with half and now his back's broken. He can't race the main event anymore. Cobble breaking
between
his
the two
back
of them,
as
they
well.
did a straight air. Yeah. Gerst, Holmes, Tomasunis coming to the line. So Nicky Tomasunis, he's going to make, I think, his first main event of the year. Good job for Tomasunis. And Carson West will round out our transfer spots. This is all just for the LCQ now. As we got Dooley's
to Fakey.
Almost Fakey backed it in there. And Hewan's going to go to the LCQ as well. Bear, Arico, Cody Kopp,
Cody Cooper,
Dominic Paolini. Oh, Cody Coop, I should say.
Yeah, everyone
Cody
in chat
Cooper.
I was like, oh yeah.
As he says, free Trev and Millie. That is Trevor Burns and Millie Soderblom, who have both been banned for the rest of Supercross due to some really, really dumb riding last week in Arlington. Just no other way to put it other than they were doing some stuff a lap down and taking guys out, and that'll earn you a real quick trip to the cheap seats for the rest of the year. And so he wants them to be freed, but they will not be freed as Marconis Faitosa comes across the line to finish this thing off. All right, West, Tomasunis, Holmes, Gerst, Cobble, Smith, Gress, Crotty, and Whelan will be our runners that go to the main event. As Whelan starting off on another right foot here tonight. Wasn't the fastest qualifier again, but golly, does he shine bright when the lights turn on here.
Yeah, he just kind of really knows when to, or how to put it together. I mean, he's already won a championship. He's been here before. And like I said, it feels like he's not being pressured by one person. You see some great rides from Cotty. You see some great rides from Carr, from Zollers, but those guys aren't there week in and week out like Whelan has been. So even though he didn't win the Triple Crown after winning the first 2 races of the series before that, he's still easily my title favorite, and he's gonna need to have some huge mistakes, or someone needs to step up and say, I want to be the guy, or else I feel like he's just gonna ride off into the sunset.
Absolutely, especially with that early championship lead. These series are so short for these East and West competitors that once you kind of establish yourself as the guy, the target is obviously right on your back right away, but it's also someone has to topple you off. You can't just assume that someone is going to come up and be faster than you. You have the target on your back, and you have the control of the series from basically the get-go. So as we've already come to round 4 right here, I think the East Championship is actually 10 rounds this year, so it's a little bit longer than we normally see from the East side, but Whelan definitely establishing himself early. All right. Let's go ahead and move on forward. It's 450 Heat number 1 coming up next right here. So about to see the big dogs here at Daytona and see what they do on this racetrack. See if there's any other big lines that we haven't really seen busted out yet that the 450 guys are capable of here tonight. We'll see who's in each heat race coming up. As usually our fastest qualifier goes to that second heat race, but we'll see what goes on here tonight. Of course, coming in, Braden Carter, still your championship leader, up 18 points on Payson Johnson, 19 points on Alexis Leclerc. And those are the only 3 gentlemen still within 1 race distance of each other in this championship. So it's become a bit of a 3-horse race, but it's really about who the heck can take Braden Carter off of this potential 3-peat in this championship.
Yeah, someone's gonna need a same thing with Whelan though. Someone's gonna need to start chopping away at that, because if you let him get over a race lead, Braden Carter, I feel like he's just gonna run with that confidence, and he knows you give him too much of a lead, and then he knows he can just settle for a third place. You know, he can come into a race and know he doesn't have to push as hard. So you're just setting yourself up for failure later on. You want to be bringing it down to the wire, like we see, you know, in real life with so many guys within 5 points or whatever it is. Those guys know they need to go up there and be on the box every single race. And if you give him the opportunity to settle for a fifth on a track maybe he's not comfortable in, that's just really going to hurt you. So going to be interesting to see what happens here. I do feel like we could see a switch up here tonight, though, with this track, just a different style track.
I don't know if we got a warm-up lap in there or not, but we are already getting a restart going, so hopefully we're good to go here for 450 heat number 1, or maybe there was a little bit of an issue. Either way, we'll try to call it as is and see that we get everything rolling off smoothly here. It looks like it is 450 heat 1, and it's ready to go as we get ready to drop the gate. Big dogs, let them eat here at Daytona. We are off and running. Who's going to get that all-important hole shot? Some heavy hitters in this one. And no surprise to see Leclerc almost got there first, but it is Brandon Larson, the privateer effort out here on the 573. Grabs that hole shot. He's going to try to maintain the lead in the second corner. Leclerc's going to push him wide and take the lead on the 7.
Yeah, what a great start from the outside. We actually haven't seen anyone get a hole shot from outside of the box or even that far out. He is going to get swallowed up a little bit here. No, he's not. He's going to charge the outside, though. So we see these 450s now. Inside lines able to work a little bit better. You got 3 lines in each of these corners. Interesting to see what these guys are doing. All top 3 electing to go inside there. But look at this. Alexis Leclerc out front with the championship red plate leader way back behind him there. This is a dangerous look right here. Leclerc is insanely fast indoors and out, and he could be trying to set the tone for the night here.
I like what I just saw out of Leclerc right there. The first guy I've seen all night triple on off to the inside rut after that section right there. And it looked like it was pretty fast. Dualies, little mini dualies right there. As Leclerc trying to hold off Seth Shirley, our 250 West Championship leader. Down the inside is going to try to take the lead away. He's going to hop through the whoops a little bit. Leclerc trying to fight back. Woo. Can Shirley get this thing done? He's side by side to the inside. Which option works best in the split? Shirley rails that inside, goes to the outside, tries to hold it on to maintain the lead. They come out almost side by side over the tunnel. It looks like Leclerc's got this thing back as he goes to the front again.
I decided I like the outside inside better because you come out with less speed. You don't have to check up, be so far out, and then check up before that wall tunnel jump there. So going to be interesting.
Look at Shirley.
Look at Shirley sending it.
Wow. Oh, and Leclerc crosses over. Leclerc crosses over, going for the triple on and takes Shirley down. He's able to stay up on 2 wheels, but we also had another crash as suddenly it is Leclerc Carter 1-2 in this heat race. And we haven't done any onboard action tonight, so let's actually go on board with Carter here and see what it looks like from his perspective as he comes flying into that corner. And Carter, we know he's a Supercross specialist. He has not been too hot in the outdoor campaigns the last few years, so this is going to be a unique challenge for him here tonight at Daytona as he watches Leclerc try to sprint away ahead of him. Carter almost through the front door onto that table. Definitely looks like he's getting kicked around a little bit with that Supercross suspension.
Yeah, those guys have so much speed too coming into that. We saw in the first 250, trying to like wheelie over it to drop settle yourself down before hitting that big triple. I actually saw Leclerc went inside roll triple there, so that was another big line we got to keep an eye out for these 450 riders. But we're seeing just how we did the flyover, but now we get to see down at the ground level just how tough this track is. Now you see why those guys are going inside and jumping, because they are cut down a little bit there. Carter stacking this whole rhythm section, going to be able to get it. Actually, Leclerc was down on the outside there, so he's going to go to the inside. Looks like Leclerc was able to get up and pull just right in front of him here. But look at all these little ruts. They're already cut in. Man, this close racing action between these teammates here. First person scares me because that thing would just make me hit the brakes. Look at this big line here. He's going to jump over that, still clips it, able to make the triple.
Oh.
Survives. These guys are so good at just keeping it going when they start getting sketchy.
A lot of people would have crashed like 4 times right there in the different
100%.
spots. The Carter just came up short, went a little bit long, faced into the jump. No problem. Suspension soaks it up, and that's a lot to do with body positioning and also the RPM range that you're in on the bike as well. If you're sitting in the right location on the bike, you're also not over revved. A lot can do to that, help you save a crash from happening, and Carter did a masterful job right there. But Leclerc still holding on to the lead, still going on off to the inside right there in that corner. And like you said, I think out of this corner right here, he's going roll triple, right? So that's another line that we're seeing these 450 guys. Doesn't really get it that time, but not too bad.
He didn't really cleanly, but just looking at that, if he can, that's just such a, I feel like that saves you so much time from the outside there. So just another little thing these 450 guys are doing differently here. Look at that. Carter blitzing the low line, kind of jumping. Leclerc blitzing the outside.
Yeah, it's interesting because that inside option going into the whoop seems to be really fast. You gain a lot of time by not going all the way to the berm. But then it's kind of hard to get on top with that starter whoop almost flat. So it almost forces you to jump, which is obviously slower. And it seems to work out almost the same. I can't really tell which one's the best so far.
Yeah, and then looking at these two lines here, Carter going for, I actually don't know if he jumped in there, but Leclerc going for the quote-unquote slower line, not as big, but Leclerc kind of managing here. He looks like he's riding really smart right now. Besides kind of clipping the bales there. But I like these two inside lines. We saw Braden Carter on the onboard last time. The outside lines do funnel into the bales, so a lot of mistakes there. But sticking to the inside and middle lines on these 450s, but just look at that speed. Got that jump over so cleanly. Leclerc is just so
clean
good.
Getting that inside line right there. I will say Carter does seem to have maybe a little bit more speed in hand because it's kind of yo-yoed a little bit. Leclerc's making some small mistakes, but Carter has actually outright caught him a few times already. And now Leclerc's down, and Carter's going to plow into him. He's going to take the race lead away from Leclerc as Leclerc gets going, but that puts Carter up into the race lead. Not sure what happened to Leclerc right there. Weird spot to crash. I wonder if he maybe just slipped the front tire and hit his head on the ground and had an instant legs off.
Yes, it looked like, or he's just carrying so much speed into that, trying to get that crazy line there. As we see cartwheeling off the Dragon's back,
Jeremy
Seabolt there.
New team this week as well. Seabolt going over to the Backdoor Bandits program, so he's joined up with them as he's going to get going right in front of the 25 there of Cade Matherly, the 4 of Jeremy Smith coming up alongside as well, so he's going to get by. Reno Brendan is also here this week, the 422 Wildside Designs ride. He always runs with the 0. We saw him run.
Didn't even know you could do that.
He saw him run the 0 when he did the Reno roll at the MXS games last year, and he did probably the gnarliest trick we've ever seen in this game that was landed on a quarter pipe. But he is back, showing that his prowess still exists on the professional level in a racing sense. We also have Bodie Parker and JR Reyes mixing it up back here. Reyes in 10th, Parker in 9th. I want to give a quick shout to Reyes as well, because I believe this is the same gentleman, but JR Reyes tried to race the Houston Supercross and got pretty hurt. I don't remember what exactly he did, but he went down in qualifying at one point. So hopefully he's doing okay. Good to see the pro scene in real life transfer over to Sim as well as he continues to race the pro scene here. Try to make the main event as he's got to get around Parker to do it. Yeah,
Parker having some good rides here in this track. Man, it's deadly. I'm just looking at the times coming across the screen, how much separation there is. Normally, I feel like we don't see 17th place 50 seconds back after 6.5 minutes in the heat race. So these guys, interesting to note, they with the faster lap times the 450s are putting down, they did hit the stripe at a different time. So these guys, longer heat races, duh. No, there we go. Now we're on to the
I think
cross.
they did get an extra lap in, though. I think the speed overall was faster than some of the crashing that we saw in the 250 class. So I do believe you're right. Oh, Carter down just as we switch to him. Leclerc's going to go back to the lead of this heat race. It's a minuscule difference here because it really just depends on gate pick for these two. But we've already seen those inside gate options, particularly right to the very inside, could be critical tonight. Leclerc, maybe if he gets that gate pick, really doing himself some favors, and Carter might have just tossed that one away.
Yeah, Carter, big mistake there. That's one of the trickier lines where I wonder if he was going for the big line. We kind of just saw the end of it there. But I feel like there's going to be a lot of confidence brought whoever wins this, kind of knowing if I'm Leclerc and I know I worked Braden, we both had our mistakes. Both had their fall-offs today. Almost won there as he clips right there. Look at that speed. That's definitely why he crashed, because going that fast and into that little rut is why. But if I'm Leclerc and I know I beat Carter, I'm coming into this main event feeling great and just knowing I'm flowing with the track and it's my night, and I'm going to try to cut away at those 19 points that he's ahead of me in the championship.
Well, 2 corners to go for Leclerc. It's just the switchbacks left, and he's got this heat race victory sealed off as the fast Frenchman out of Picardy, France, is going to come up over the tunnel jump one more time. And the number 7, Phil Ski and Snowboard, backed by a bunch of cryptocurrencies, is going to the main event with a P1 finish In 450 heat number 1, Leclerc gets it done there. Carter going to cross the line in second, and a little bit of a gap back to their other teammate, Braden Castellaneta, makes it a Phil's 1-2-3 in this one. Cade Matherly got right to him at the flag, but isn't going to quite get it done for the 25 machine. Almost brought that back, and Shirley rounds out the top 5. Seabolt 6th, Smith 7th, Brennan in 8th, and it looks like Bodie Parker was able to sneak away, and he's bringing this thing home in 9th to seal the deal for our top 9 going to the main event out of this heat race.
Yeah, what a great race there. Really interesting. It's felt like almost a little main event preview, but we do have Payson Johnson to watch coming into this next race. Going to be interesting to see. We know he's a huge big line guy. Brandon Larson here going to miss out after that great start, but still kind of learning in this class as a rookie. I'm really impressed with Cade Matherly. I feel like he's made such finishing 4th this race. He's got a great national number, but
my brain's churning. I said my brain's churning. I want to try something.
Okay. But I feel
going.
like he's just made some great strides the last kind of couple years in this game. And then Seth Shirley as well on the 450.
They put a wall.
Lame.
Darn.
So the first thing I do when I'm downloading
You
this
said
track
Payson
is
Johnson
to
big lines, and I was
delete
like,
it.
you know what?
Okay.
Maybe there is a big line to be had here. But what I was trying to do is go from the tunnel takeoff to the wall landing.
It for sure was possible because I know you had a half good corner speed, and
my corner speed is not good in this game anymore.
If we talked about this before, if I can get like halfway there, then someone can do it. It's kind of my thing. I guess you got that roller though, so you got to figure out something with that. But it's definitely got to be possible with someone. Maybe Reno, going out there, our freestyle guy, he could probably hit it.
How about we do a sick transfer from the wall jump over the finish, huh?
Yeah, let's see it. I'm down.
See if we can get enough speed up to do that. It's pretty steep, so.
I know I wanted the Triple Crowns were going so fast last week because
come on, T-Lang.
I switched up the controls for a little bit, put them on mine, and I was crushing the track a little bit, and they almost wanted me to start racing instead of commentating yesterday when it started to get closer to that time. So, but I wanted to kind of show these guys I could still get around the track. I got a great whoop technique from Braden Carter. It would take me 1 out of 25 to make it through. Now I can crush him every time. So, talk to the guy who's winning the championship if you want to learn how to, be better, and he can teach an old dog new tricks. So maybe one of these weeks you'll see me skip out and try to throw it down here in the 450 class. You never know.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing an old A-Wood try to give it a go because, you'd make the fast 40. There's only 38 guys.
I know. I could throw some whips. So, when I'm getting laughed out there, you'll get some dualies. So we'll see. Maybe by the end of this year, I definitely want to try to race an outdoor race, but those are just so hard and you're just suffering in the trenches. Like
suffering.
You don't even get like your time in the spotlight. Yeah. Like, there's a 20-man pile up. I'm in 3rd for 2 corners in Supercross because I suck. Like you just start 30th and then you just suffer and no one sees you the whole race. No one cares.
So. Knowing my luck with my sim history, I would always end up in those pile-ups in Supercross. I never ever had one of those like, holy smokes, I missed the first turn chaos and I'm leading. I was always in the first turn pile-ups.
I was such a good 450 starter too. There was one year where there's like, you have 24 motos. I think I got like 10 hole shots. And I'm like, I'm the greatest starter. This is before Leclerc, jerk. But he came in and just started dominating everyone. But Supercross, I would get maybe 1 out of 17. And I'm like, how is this happening? No, LCQ, if I did make the main, still could never survive. So when you see the top guys up there every start, just know that it's more than them just being fast. It's technique. It's reaction time.
Technique.
Reaction time is really big. That's how I got away with it. But then the technique started getting into it, and that's when I started, these guys just dominate. But it's crazy when you see Leclerc and Carter up there every race. Like, it's just, these guys are nuts. They're so good at every aspect of this game.
They are nuts indeed. All right, 450 heat number 2 coming up next. Taking a look at some of our runners out there on the field here tonight. Last week's winner, Colby Eaglin, throwing down on the triple. Caden Speck is also here. Jeff Cooper, Pablo Vial. There is Payson Johnson, Adam Holm, McIntosh, Stevenson, and a whole host of others ready to do battle here in 450 heat number 2 at Daytona. And as we get ready to roll through after this one, LCQ's coming up next. Always some great racing action there. We'll see what happens in those, but we got to see who makes it out of these heat races before we get there. And we're about to find out the final heat race of the night. Ready to go here at the World Center of Racing. 450 Heat 2 at Daytona. Let's get it. 78 of Hubbard to the inside is going to get the whole shot. Pushed out a little bit from the outside right there. One of those Hondas was trying to get there.
Whoa, and that's Johnson, I think.
Big explosion in the background allows Hubbard a big gap. Caden Speck was that Honda to the outside that almost got it. Lang's up in the mix. Johnson was not involved in the chaos, but he is going to come through in 4th place. Ethan Parks inside the top 5 early on. As a 78 of Hubbard blows the corner, goes up high. Now moves Speck to our race lead on the Connect Visual, 89.
Yeah, Speck with a great start there, able to kind of hold on to that. They come into that first corner so high speed, and I think that is not Johnson, but probably his teammate. There's so many KTMs, and they're both wearing gray gear. But another mistake in the sand, so Johnson up in the second.
Down.
Hubbard down in the corner. All these guys
that might have been Johnson, actually. I don't see the 51 machine there. There's
a 24
he is 16th.
It showed across the top of the screen. So it was.
Yeah, he's back here. He's dealing with some chaos as he's trying to weave through some of these guys. He's got another teammate right there, and Jeremy Schiabro. Lots of riders down under the tunnel. It's just an absolute cluster right there. Johnson's going to make up several positions because of that. And just as we saw every Yamaha and their mother in the first heat races, KTM's galore in this one. Johnson going to go middle line as they go 3 wide through that rut. And he's trying to get around the 27 of Pablo Vial. I think he's already in a transfer spot. Oh, no, he's in 10th.
Ripping, though. I want to point out a couple of things that he did next time around when we see him switching it up on the Dragon's back and then into that kind of into the whoop section. But look at Payson being smart here. Something I feel like
just come right across Pablo Vial's front tire.
I was gonna say something he normally doesn't do, but he's making moves, moving away from guys. I feel like almost did he clip that guy too? But we see 3 people down, so he's gonna be up into the 6th position after that. Guys exploding all over the place.
I think he's in 5th already. He's behind Holm, Parks, Lang, and now Speck is our race leader. Yeah, he's up in the 5th spot. Meanwhile, Tyler Lang. Boy, is he feeling the Daytona vibes right now. He is going after Caden Speck to get the race lead in this heat race. And Lang has been just straight up not good this year in Supercross compared to his normal standards. So this could be a big start to his season if he can come out, win the heat race, and maybe go on to try to win this main event here at Daytona tonight.
Yeah, he's been around long enough where he was not even someone who would be upset with you kind of saying that. Oh, Speck with the slide out there. The track's still slick. They're carrying so much speed. He's going to go down. Almost gets into T-Lang, but T-Lang's going to make the move and get up. Or in the first, Caden Speck getting up behind in second. He's got a big gap here, so can he settle down and try to put back a charge? But Tyler Lang, he would be the first one to tell you he hasn't been as good as he has in years past, not up there in the championship fight. I feel like he was back in those years where it was like him and Scalbro and stuff. Like he was always around just up there. So, but sometimes you just have a track that you really like and you can perform at. So, really good to see him, like you said, feeling the Daytona vibes. Speck all over the.
Who's that? Is that Hubbard? Oh no, it's Holm. Holm getting tossed off the side of the track like a wet salad over there as he's gonna remount and try to get going. He's got Colby Eaglin going by him as now Holm gets going just in front of Johnny Padani. TSCZ Productions up here. And then Jacob Bubbard is coming through as well with Jeremy Schiabro and Ethan Olson. So Olson back in the 10 spot right now.
Look at that privateer.
Add me to your team. I like it.
Get in the main, you might get one.
Running stock skins and saying, hey, just add me to the team. I mean, Ethan Olson looking pretty sharp out here, though, trying to make it into the main event. He's got Schiabro right in front of him.
Adam Holm
is down on the 17, and Olson is going to go through to that final transfer spot. And Adam Holm flopping around a little bit.
Just bring it back to the truck and try it again, Adam.
So Robert Wilson going to go into 10th. He has got Enzo Butigny right behind him. And now they're trying to run down Ethan Olson in this final transfer spot.
Yeah, Ethan Olson, great ride here. Monty behind him, though, has got a lot of experience. NorCal guy, my buddy, hill climber, ex-pro. Chasing this kid down right here, but he hasn't had a great race all season. He's got a company back there too. So Olson's got a little bit of breathing room. Just got to ride this thing away. We only saw 6 laps. So it looks like if this is the same as the first race, he's only going to have 2 more laps to hold on to this thing. And maybe we do see some more carnage behind him. So never really know what you're going to see here, as we've seen guys making mistakes left and right here so far tonight. And it's still early. So great ride by Ethan Olson, though.
Yeah, just cruising along right now, getting that overline triple. That's risky.
Oh, and that's into Hubbard.
Oh, and he's down, and Hubbard is down right there as well. So jumping through, Robert Wilson is actually going to move to 8th spot. Hubbard falls back to the final transfer spot. I mean, just wrong place, wrong time right there, unfortunately, for Ethan Olson. But the good news for him, everybody's still pretty tightly knit together here.
No.
Oh, Robert Wilson goes flying over the berm. He's going to fall back out of a transfer spot. Boutigny goes in the final transfer spot. Here's Holm. Holm getting a little sideways, trying to go to the inside to make the pass on Boutigny. Side by side through the sand, and with a great drive comes Jeff Cooper as well.
3 wide NASCAR. This guy's getting calls from the spotter. Bottom right there, trying to make a pass up the inside. Holm holds onto it. There, these guys are getting crazy out here around this transfer position. So, man, we've seen some great racing tonight. I feel like so much separation from crashes, but then we've had these nice tight-knit groups, a little bit of dualies there as they come in. Adam Holm jumping from that second to last jump on the Dragons back there. He's been making so many mistakes, though. Can he hold on?
Boutigny is trying to make a run alongside of him.
Crossing all over.
They're both going to go to the outside in option here in the split section, but Boutigny is trying to make something happen to get into this final transfer spot on Adam Holm. And we still do have 2 laps to go, as our leaders out front have enough of a gap already. They've already crossed the finish line jump. Holm's trying to hold on to this final transfer spot. If we go back to our leaders, though, Lang starting to put it in cruise control a little bit. Johnson's trying to keep it close. Still, nobody besides Leclerc has gotten that 3 on off to the inside very clean. Even Johnson clipping and then rolling into the corner. Pretty remarkable that Leclerc's the only person getting that done. Must just be a setup thing that these guys can't quite figure it out. Eaglin back here in 3rd, just going over that little jump right there. You got Caden Speck also. Ethan Parks inside the top 5. Johnny Padani, Jeremy Schiabro. There's Hubbard. There is Holmes still in the final transfer spot, but now he's got a gap back to Ethan Olson, as it looks like whoever was back there, Boutigny, went down and has lost a lot of ground.
Yeah, I think Leclerc, the whole step off to the inside thing, Leclerc always has ran such a loose. When you see these guys hitting bumps and their kind of bodies moving forward and backward on the bike right there, man, he just barely skimmed that. He's always had it so, it moves so fast and the damping is so low. He's able to seat bounce. That's why he's always been kind of a big line guy too. He's able to get those seat bounces. He can pretty much just bunny hop on flat ground with the way his setup is. So I think that helps him at that slower speed, get that pop into that inside corner and just hit that corner a little bit faster than the rest of these guys who, if they do want to go inside, have to check up and kind of case that last roller. Ooh, Johnson down.
Actually, he was our leader. Lang must have went down. Johnson
like a 1080
had made it out front, and he pirouettes on the ground. Remarkably stays up on 2 wheels as Lang has slipped back into 2nd. So this is a good turnaround for Johnson, who had a couple early issues in this heat race, but has since made some passes. Oh, he gets shoved off the track. A lapped rider getting in his way a little bit right there. That's going to cost him some time, and T-Lang sensing some blood in the water right here, trying to make a last attempt to try to get into the race lead as Johnson goes for that middle rut. Lang goes a little bit farther out. He's going to blitz the whoops here as Johnson tries to get on top. We got a lapped rider down. That's McIntosh on the 45 that they're going to split. Outside option for Lang. Turns to the inside, but Johnson, wow, almost hopping over that roller on exit. Gets over the tunnel jump clean. And here it is. Payson Johnson takes it to the flag. The 51 machine wins 450 heat number 2. Lang ends up in 2nd. Eaglin will cross in 3rd, just ahead of more riders coming through. You got Caden Speck there in 4th. Ethan Parks looks like he's going to the main event just fine in 5th. Johnny Padani in 6th. Hubbard 7th. Schiabro 8th. And Adam Holmes should be good to go in 9th, as we got a death battle going on for 10th. Ethan Olson dealing with Jeff Cooper, but they are both outside of a transfer spot, so they are not battling for a position in the main event, but they are battling for first gate pick in the LCQ if they can get there.
Yeah, these guys, Cooper and are just short. He's going to miss that. Adam Holm on the 17 getting that final transfer spot. He's got a big gap too. Doesn't have to worry about losing that at all here. Man, these guys just great racing. I feel like it's really interesting to see. If you look at the separation of the top 3, you've got 1.5 seconds to second and 2.3 seconds back to third place. So that's Payson Johnson, that's Tyler Lang, and Colby Eaglin. Just how we saw Leclerc and Braden Carter in the first race, you see that separation in the championship, but you can actually see it now in the heat races, kind of who's going to be your top 5 going into your main event. These guys, they're just in such another level. Even in the shorter heat races, they are able to separate themselves, and the guys who are going in the championship are going in every race that we have. So just really interesting to see those top 3 so close. And you know, Squib or we had a couple guys with some bad rides. Hubbard had a couple mistakes and stuff. Everyone has a blow up race here and there, but it's really interesting to see how much this is separating, not just in the championship but also on the track.
Yeah, let's look at Johnson riding the track backwards. Just getting some stuff in. Oh,
okay.
You know.
So, well, he just finally fell off. His setup is so gnarly, like that. He launched, landed backwards on the finish. That happens every once in a while, but like that skimming across the start straight, like spiraling, like he seems to not crash. And when he does those wheelie lines, like his suspension is so stiff. It's crazy. I just don't understand like what he found in the game that lets him not fall off as much as everyone else.
He's just redonkulous, dude.
He's crazy.
He's crazy. Oh man. All right.
I don't think he's gonna win tonight, but we'll see. He's just nuts. You gotta respect at least the speed. But other than that, like, man, he's nuts.
Speaking of crazy, we got last chance qualifiers coming up, Andrew. It's our favorite time of the night. We've only got 5 minutes plus a lap and 4 positions to give out to go to the main event. And we've got 22 hungry riders who are going to be really disappointed when their name isn't on the ticket to that main event coming up here in just a moment. We'll see who those 4 riders are going through. We're starting, of course, with the 250 class last chance qualifier for moving to that 250 LCQ. We're just a few moments away as well from our main events tonight. You will want to stick around for round 4 of the 250 East Championship and round 8 of the 450 Championship coming up here on Start Your Systems, Init Esports, and ESTV. Want to give a quick shout out before we move into this LCQ stuff to Init Esports and RaceFactorGaming.com. If you're interested in competing in this series at all, you can register through RaceFactorGaming.com to sign up for the racing series, but also be sure to do so at InitEsports.gg to be registered in the official AMA licensed esport championship here in MX Simulator. The winner of both, of all 3 championships, I should say, between the 450, 250 East, and 250 West championships, will receive an official AMA #1 plate for winning a championship, and that's always really cool to see. As well as Init Esports, if you sign up there, they have implemented a verification system this year for everyone that wants to get scored in the championship, and a full explanation is available on the Init Esports website. So if you want any more information on how to get involved in the series, be sure to check out the Init Esports Discord or the Race Factor Gaming Discord, and you can check those out as well by going to InitEsports.gg or RaceFactorGaming.com. All right, 250 last chance qualifier coming up next. And we're going to see who gets it done and goes to the main event here tonight at Daytona. All right.
This is going to be insane if all the carnage in the first 250 races, heat races here tonight, gave us any sort of preview. This is going to be carnage, and I am ready. This is our favorite race of the night, so super pumped to get these started. Last week I was not ready to start the stream off with those races. I thought it was going to be chill. It was super chill and then got insane. So hopefully these guys treat us to another great night of racing here. 4 of these guys already. There's just dead bodies everywhere.
Just explosions.
Yeah, it's just Seth Carr though. Ooh, he's way up there in the championship. I'm pretty sure. And
I think you're right.
He's out here. Cody Cooper. We got some big names coming up here. I will check and see, just because that's an interesting storyline for me. You always want to see those guys. If you're top 5 in the championship and you are missing a main event, like we did see early this year, actually, with our defending championship leader coming into 250 West, it's big news, and you really expect to be in the main week in and week out.
All right, here we go, folks. Last chance qualifier time for the 250 class. Only 4 riders go to the main event. Let's find out who they are right now. Oh, Donut with a huge hole shot. Sheesh, look at the 40 machine getting in the corner first. Brett Powers on the Wild Side Designs ride rips a whole shot in the LCQ. He's getting hopped over by guys tripling. I don't know how more guys didn't go down, but Hunter Plum is going to go to the race lead. You got Austin Bear right there. Seth Carr also in the mix. John Heilman up in a transfer spot early on, but I can tell already a lot of guys got through those first couple corners clean, and it is going to get kicked off here in a hurry.
Yeah, Seth Carr just checked 7th in the championship, so he wants to be up there getting out of this carnage. Put together a great ride that had some mistakes.
Plum down and takes the leader with him, and the leader's down as well, so more guys getting stood up in the sand. Seth Carr goes to the lead. Heilman second, Heckman third, Nichols up into the top 4 now, and there's still a host of riders tailing right behind these guys.
Yeah, we see that outside line and those sand corners coming together into the bales. They kind of fade away, so these guys aren't cutting down. They're trying to carry too much speed, clipping bales and going down, and especially on the first lap when the track isn't broken down, they're really having some mistakes. Got a little bit of trialies there, not super big, but Alex Heckman trying to hold on here as he's in the middle of this 3-rider sandwich. Now we got a rider slowing down here.
The 13,
up on Carr.
That's Seth Carr. Seth Carr was jumping through the whoops and lost a lot of time. He's going to lose 2 positions as well, so Heilman goes to the front as Carr slips back into 3rd now behind Heckman. Tyler Nichols is still right behind this trio at the front of the field, I should say, as our 4 riders are kind of breaking away a little bit, but there is so much chaos going on behind them. If any of these guys goes down in the next couple of corners, any one of those 4 or 5 guys landing off the finish line, jump in the background, will be able to pounce. As Heckman doesn't get the rhythm line, Tyler Nichols is going to go almost up into 2nd place from 4th as he's going to settle for 3rd, but he did get around Seth Carr, not tripling onto the table. Carr's going to fight right back and get back beside him as they go over this single jump into the moguls, and Carr moves back into 3rd place.
Yeah, Carr is so feisty. I mean, you see he's got that number 13 national number. That's about as low as you can go. Normally, guys don't pick that up there, but he's riding it. So, you know, he's a great rider. He's used to scoring points, making mains, getting good finishes in races. So he is just in this carnage trying to separate himself from Tyler Nichols here. But Tyler Nichols has a huge train right behind him here. No one really trying to switch it up, though, in this 250 class. A lot of these guys getting stuck in kind of their comfortable line.
Oh,
but there it is.
that's Carr down. Seth Carr down, and several riders are going to go by, so he's going to have a lot of work to do. So Heilman leads now. Heckman just moved up into 2nd place around Tyler Nichols, and Heilman's down with the race lead. So that's going to move Heckman to the lead. You've got Nichols in 2nd. Heckman's going down out of the lead as he yard sails from the front. Nichols goes to the race lead. Arico to 2nd. Jacob Kelly's in the mix. More guys go down, and they go flying off the berm together as Cohen Formagina is going to move up into the 3rd position. Heilman finds himself in 4th. He's alongside Austin Bridges as they go into the wall jump, and Heilman gets hit from behind. Bridges moves into the final transfer spot. What is happening? Cody Cooper, Sonny Spicer, Riley Hewen, Alex Heckman, all still in the mix behind these guys, as it's Bridges now in the final transfer spot trying to hold on as he's going, and Formagina goes down, and Bridges goes down. Unbelievable what is happening as Spicer moves up into 3rd place. He's bar to bar with Cooper as Hewen goes down, and he lands on Cooper. Heckman goes back into the final transfer spot. Everybody's crashing. So let's reset it here for a minute. Tyler Nichols is leading. Not anymore.
No, he's not.
Joey Arico goes to the front now. Nichols in 2nd. Spicer 3rd. Heckman in the final transfer spot with Tyler Blowers trying to close up from 4th spot. And there's still an absolute freight train behind everybody back here. So much crashing. It's all kicked off in this LCQ.
These 250 riders don't want no one wants to win. Oh my gosh, these guys are they're insane. This 250 East Coast class has already been giving us some of the best LCQs here, and then they come and try to ride a gnarly Daytona track. You would think that this track, we had pretty much the same track last year, wasn't going to bring the excitement, but these guys are bringing it here. This is just absolutely insanity here.
Oh, Heckman getting swapped again. Just barely makes it to the end of the whoops. He's having a rough time on the 292 machine, but he's going to have to try to hold on. Blauer's going to the inside in the split section here. They're actually both kind of catching up to Sonny Spicer a little bit as well, so Spicer might fall back into a battle for the final transfer spot if he's not too careful here. We have just shy of 15 seconds left to go on the clock, so this is going to be 2 to go this time by. Will we see more crashing? Yes, we will. Tyler Nichols is down. That's going to move Blowers into the final transfer spot. Jacob Kelly is going to maybe move by as Nichols clicks gears from off the track, gets back on still in 5th spot. Blowers cases the triple on, gets a little sideways. He's still holding on to 4th. Heckman battling it out with Spicer now for what is 2nd position on the track as Arico pulls away out front.
I don't even know where anyone is anymore. These guys are just insane. Heckman holding out on in front of Blowers, but Blowers holding down 4th. Looks like there's some action for 5th right there. We got a couple guys too wide there trying to make a pass on the outside.
Nichols and Jacob Kelly side by side. You also have Noah McLaughlin trying to close up from the background. So this is 5, 6, 7, not even in a transfer spot, going at it, but Blowers is making a ton of mistakes, and Blowers goes down. Jacob Kelly shoots into 4th place momentarily. Nichols gets it right back, so now this is the battle for 4th, as Blowers had just gone down. Doolies over the triple, as Nichols is trying to keep the 351, I believe it is, of Jacob Kelly right behind him. Into the whoops we go. More swapping. Who's going to survive? Oh my goodness, it's all going off here in this LCQ.
This is probably the most carnage we've seen so far yet in an LCQ, and we still have a full lap to go here. Starting to get a little bit separated with this top 5, but I wanted to look at that 5th place battle because you just knew someone up front in the top 4 was going to go down, and that's exactly what happened. A couple corners after we started watching it. So I don't think this is over at all. These guys are just sending it. Look at
Nichols
that different
doesn't get the line.
Nichols trying to go up the inside. He's not going to be able to jump past him yet, but he does get a little bit closer, and they're moving up on the rider in front of him. So
look at
a little
this
bit mistake right there.
Kelly triples on.
Get it.
Bar to bar for the final transfer spot. Who's going to get it to this corner? Nichols backs out of the challenge. Oh, he's going to go to the inside. It might work out. Still side by side, and he clips Kelly's rear tire and goes down. Oh, I thought he was going to run Kelly wide into that corner, but he chose not to. Went to the inside to play fair. Kelly crosses back over. Nichols goes down, and unless a disaster happens, we might finally have our 4 riders going through in this one. Arico up front. Sonny Spicer there in 2nd. Heckman. Oh, Kelly did slide out. And here comes Brett Powers. Donut MX is going to try to make the main event here at Daytona. He's got to do it with a last-ditch effort here in these final few corners to get around Jacob Kelly.
Good. He looks so fast. Donut is pushing. He just railed those last couple corners there. That left-hand 90, he got that double cleanly, which most guys haven't been doing.
Inside.
He's going to go inside. Let's see how this drive works out. We got your 828 coming across in the line, or in first. But this is what we want to see right here. Is there going to be any carnage here?
No, Kelly looks like he's all good. He's just got a couple more corners to make it. Final corner up and over the tunnel jump. And it got so close in the end. But Jacob Kelly is going to be the last man standing. Jacob Kelly goes to the main event. He joins Alex Heckman, Sonny Spicer, and Joey Arico in what has been arguably the gnarliest last chance qualifier we've seen in some time in this 250 division. That was incredible.
Man, that was awesome. I'm looking at the top of the screen there. Seth Carr dropped all the way back to 18th place. He's 7th in your championship. Cody Cooper started in like 15th, got all the way up to 3rd, was running up there, and he dropped all the way back to 16th, and he is 3rd in your championship. So you're having 2 of the top 10 in your championship missing out here on the main event tonight, just really having insane races. I mean, I don't think anyone could have predicted that. Rico and these guys up front are the only ones who kind of had any semblance of a clean race there. But, man, that was just
and cuts insane. Are in, and it does not affect our top 4 as unbelievably Jacob Kelly goes through. He is going to make the main event out of 4th place. Alex Heckman goes 3rd. Sonny Spicer in 2nd. And Joey Arico, wow, what a race, ends up in the winner spot in this one. I was insane. I don't even know what to say about that race. That was one of the best LCQs we've ever seen. Doesn't get much better than that. And that is why we come here every night to watch racing here in MX Simulator action. Whew, that was crazy. I don't know what else to say. But shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys were into that race. There is like 150 unread messages now in the chat that I did not see most of that race, but you guys were going after it. Woo! What an LCQ. And look, we get to run it right back again. 450 LCQ coming up now here in MotoOption Supercross, round 8 of this championship. Woo, doggy. This is some good racing here tonight. Doesn't get much better than that kind of LCQ action. Thank you, good sir. As we get ready to go for the 450 LCQ, Andrew Wood and myself in studio. Hey, we're having a good time here tonight. It's Daytona. It's halfway point of the season. So, you know what? We're just it's a little bit looser out here tonight. We're having a good time.
I feel like, yeah, I mean, just throughout the season anyways, it starts to get a little more relaxed here, and we get to have a little bit more fun. You know, there's no really nerves beginning of the season. And you kind of get a little bit more free time too, as the racing does get a little bit different. But yeah, really excited to hang out, have a good time watching Daytona. Man, you got some weeks off there.
I did.
You had 2 weeks. We had a week off, then you were gone. So it's been about 3 weeks since you did this. And the 250 LCQ was like, man,
we got to pack everything that just happened.
We got to ruin this guy's career right now. He's going to nonstop yell for 3 laps straight. And that was
crazy.
That was awesome.
I was pretty impressed how much of it we got. Like, it wasn't like we missed a bunch of crashes. We got like every crash that happened on screen for that one, which was that was a lot of crashes.
I'm glad you were the one rolling. I was just sitting here. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to let him keep going, because it's so hard, man. When people are going like that, you're getting new guys in. It's hard to see their numbers. It's hard to see who's who, and they're just switching up. You would stop and throw it to me, and I'm like, I have no idea what place anyone is in right now. I just watched 15 people die. It was just like you could make one of those like end of the year highlight, like best crashes of 2023, where it's every single one, and that race probably had more crashes than the full real season.
I might just have to clip that whole LCQ and like upload it on Facebook and let the viral clicks take off from that. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, even just like the 1 or 2 minutes of just pure carnage that was happening, that would be. I mean, that's what's awesome. The 250 class never disappoints. After that heat race, like I feel like I knew that was exactly what was going to happen, because the 250 heat race was just death from the start. So these guys really struggling on this track here tonight, though. 450 guys a little bit less so, but you see guys swapping in the roller section after that wall, the top left, kind of the mogul. So even simple things can come up and bite you in high speeds.
Absolutely. All right, let's hope we get another one of those, because that was awesome in the 250 LCQ. Does the 450 LCQ pack the same punch? Let's find out. Ooh, the 573 of Larson hits the gate this time. Caleb Hall trying to get there first. Someone from the inside forgot that there was a turn there, but Caleb Hall does actually get the whole shot. It was Pearson who just went super deep in the first corner. And we got Connor Holiak up here, JR Reyes, Tharp also with a good start. So a good mix early on, and everybody's still pretty close together. We might get some chaos in this one.
Yeah, a couple guys, about 4 or 5 guys down off the start, maybe 2 in the rhythm section, but everyone else who made it through clean, so close. This 450 class, you can just tell that they're more experienced, and they have more laps under their belt by how close together the starts are. Every time they're just packed. Caleb Hall, as we say that, goes down.
Here we go.
He clips it. He goes over the bars. There's about 4 guys down in the sand section behind him, so the chaos is already starting. Brock Pearson to the lead, and there's still about a pack of 10 guys right behind him that want to make this thing an interesting race. So let's see what's going to happen here. The 450 class speeds are higher, and so are the crashes sometimes. Ooh, Sullivan with the triple from the inside. Doolies. That's for Carnow.
Just for Carnow right there. All right, Pearson leads. Into the tough blocks he goes. He's going to have a terrible drive into the whoops. Sullivan goes to the front. Woo! Almost loops out at the end. We got 4th place going down. I think that was JR Reyes who got sideways at the end of the whoops. He's going to go down. Oh, and also down in the corner right here, Frank Jackson of Phil's. He gets mounted as one of the KTM riders gets up on top of him.
B-Lars.
Larson side by side, the 63 of Jeff Cooper also in the mix. Trevor Spencer's they go over the finish line jump. Thought we might get Dooley. Someone backed out of the challenge. We got so Sullivan up here. Tharp goes to the race lead. Pearson now in 3rd, and Vial is 4th. We got a 4-rider breakaway, but that means absolutely nothing based on what we've seen here tonight. As 3 riders in the background. And I think that was maybe Spicer that went down back there in the background. Vial in the final transfer spot, though, trying to hold on.
God, he is just sending it right now. He's on the end. Look at that wheeling through the section. just insane
Uh-oh.
here. Gonna get pushed a little bit wide. He gets clipped. Doesn't go down, but he is going to lose 2 spots here. He's not going to have the drive. Brandon Larson goes by on the inside. And another rider there right behind him.
Jeff
Jeff Cooper. So now he is 2 spots out looking in. Brandon Larson is
Oh,
on the
and Vial
transfer
goes
spot.
down.
Vial down. Rider goes by. 2 riders. So 3
There's
riders.
a train coming behind
And
him.
there's Spicer down
Spicer
again
down.
in that pink gear. He said,
Oh, no.
"Want to see me do a backflop? Check this."
Oh, man. All right, resetting it. Tharp leads, Sullivan second. They've got a gap. Beelar is down the inside of Pearson trying to make the pass into third. Oh, he's hopping through the whoops. Pearson's getting sideways. Oh, big kick in the background for Jeff Cooper. Cooper's trying to go to this final transfer spot, though. All over the rear tire there of Brock Pearson. Who's going to get it done next? Will one of these guys make a mistake, or could Jeff Cooper actually just make the pass as Larson scrubs over that tunnel jump ahead of these guys? Up and over the finish line jump they go. 3, 4, 5 on your screen. Only 2 of these positions go to the main event, though. So right now, Jeff Cooper outside looking in, trying to make something happen. Let's see if anybody... Oh, casing onto the table
and
right
that's
there is
all he
Pearson.
needed.
And Cooper goes into that final transfer spot. Pearson runs it high, but keeps it on the track and still bosses the triple onto the table right there. So he's holding on from 5th place. Rockefeller, Caleb Hall, Pablo Vial, Jackson, Devin, Davis, McIntosh. J.R. Reyes just got put on the ground in the background. Davis and McIntosh, couple consistent main event guys that want to get up here in the mix as well. Rockefeller trying to close that gap down on Pearson, who's... Oh, and now Jeff Cooper's
He's
down.
dead.
How did Pearson avoid hitting his tires as he went by? So Pearson in the final transfer spot. Now can Rock... Oh, and Pearson goes into the Davalos bales. So now Rockefeller goes into the final transfer spot. Caleb Hall makes it through. Pearson now right behind him. As Hall moves into 5th place, we still got a 4 or 5 rider train there in the background. Rockefeller on the pressure point now in this final spot in 4th place.
Yeah, and there's a bit of a gap back to the rest of the guys there after everyone kind of making some mistakes, but they are starting to bunch up. That group back there with Devin Davis in the back starting to get a little bit closer. You can see him in the back of that shot there. Ooh, looks like there must have been more carnage. I think there was a rider down on the face of the triple there. So those guys maybe not as close as I thought they were going to be. Thought we were going to keep it rolling here. But Rockefeller just trying to cruise and settle in now. He's got a couple seconds back to Caleb Hall behind him. 3 seconds right there. Exactly. So he's got to just keep it safe right here. You never want to be in 4th place. But he is behind Brandon Larson. Brandon has had some great rides. Oh no, Rockefeller with the mistake.
No. He stayed up.
Though.
He stayed up. He's going to lose a position as Caleb Hall goes by into the final transfer spot. Jackson moves up into 5th, but Rockefeller is still within a fighting chance right here. And is this all Phil's riders? No, I think Caleb Hall is on a different team. Yeah, he is. But Jackson and Rockefeller trying to get in the mix. So it's actually 2 underground RC riders and a Phil's rider and a sandwich right there. Trying to make it into the main event tonight as Caleb Hall holds off the position from Frank Jackson, who's trying to close up right now.
Yeah, this battle is starting to get tight again, which I love. Look at that, almost going over. See how much if they can't step off into the inside like Leclerc does with that crazy setup, they have to bounce so much. Still able to be fast and keep it close. A lot of these tight little sections with these ruts, making people make mistakes. Jackson elects to go outside a little bit cleaner line, but you could see just how much time he lost there. Let's see if he can make it up coming into the whoop section here. He's going to go inside line here. See if he starts the jump rhythm or if he gets blitzing. He is doing the jump rhythm a little bit smoother for some of these guys. Doesn't look like he lost or really gained any time here. Same section in the split, or same in the split section. Everyone's going inside, outside there. Jackson with the bobble. And he clips a bail. He's going to have some company on his hands here.
Rockefeller pulling up alongside. The white flag is waving, so these two are trying to make it happen. Kind of doolies as they go over the jump, but Rockefeller backed out of the challenge a little bit. Through the front door, Caleb Hall. I thought he was going right there. He was seat bouncing galore trying to hold on to the bike. And Rockefeller looks like he made a mistake. Frank Jackson's holding on to that 5th spot by himself now. It is still Caleb Hall in the final transfer spot at the current point in this race, but we still have a few corners to try to make this thing happen. Jackson's closing this gap down again.
Yeah, Jackson getting close. Same lines here, but if I was him, I'd just be trying to stay close and wait for a mistake. Try to make something at the end. I would try to make something happen.
Tharp is right in front of these guys, actually, by the way, in 3rd. He went down from that lead group, so Tharp is kind of back here in the mix. Oh, Jackson tire tapped with his front end off that double. Had to cut the track. He's going to lose some time on penalties potentially right there. Oh, this is going to be tight.
Man, the case is that triple there. So Hall making some mistakes here.
Inside line, Jackson, and we know that the jump line.
Jackson
Tharp goes down. Tharp goes down. Jackson's kind of hopping through. Oh no, and Rockefeller goes down as well as he was going to try to make it up. Oh, so Hall and Jackson will go through. B-Lars is down before the finish line jump. It's Sullivan with the win. Larson second. Caleb Hall is coming to the line. He will get third, and Frank Jackson will pick up fourth and go to the main event in this one with a sick little 360 over the line. Tharp and Rockefeller miss out. Not as ridiculous as the 250 LCQ, but boy, that was still quite a close one at the end.
Wow. That was nuts. Yeah, not as much chaos there, but definitely a great ride. A couple of those guys. Huge win by Sullivan, followed closely by Brandon Larson with a pretty good finish there. Good ride. He's really needed that. He's had a couple rough rounds here after showing a lot of speed, just not able to put it together. He a big gap back, but really proud of this top four making it in. Being able to survive that and survive the chaos and all the heat. Man, look at these guys just love that having fun there. That was pretty sick right there.
Wheelies,
I feel like
we
always hop on the right person to watch when they're doing some play riding. It just shows you some of these guys, struggling to make main events here, and just so much technique, and then you just wadded up on a 10-foot double looking like Mathis out there. Watch out for a brain bleed, Larson. I'll keep an eye on you. Want to make sure you're okay. What do we?
Someone in chat, Daniel Paz, wanted to know my first person settings. So FOV is 95, height is 1, angle is 25, and gimbal is 50. You can go ahead and screenshot these for yourself. But that is the 450 LCQ done and dusted. Sullivan, Larson, Hall, and Jackson go to the main event out of this one. And now our field is set. Round 4 of 250 East action coming up here in just a moment. 15 minutes plus a lap for their 4th round of their championship here at Daytona. Judging by lap times and what we're seeing tonight, I'm thinking that's going to be 13 laps maybe or so. We'll have to see what it ends up being. But this is going to be a good one to see who comes out on top in this 250 main event.
Transfer spot. That's for the drinking game in chat. Just trying to help our guys out in there. You're welcome, Dylan Bob. I got you. Man, 250 main. All I expect from this one is carnage. I do think I'm interested to see. I keep saying this. Who's going to step up? Will someone do it? Whelan dominated his heat race, but now that we have both of the guys coming back, or both sides coming together, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Oh, speaking of that, when do we have our first shootout? Or it's like near the end of the year, huh?
Yeah,
like
I think it's East Rutherford. So it's like round 14 or 15.
And then the final.
Then the final in Salt Lake City. I always think it's Vegas.
Vegas, hopefully soon.
Yeah, right. It would be nice. Nothing against Salt Lake City, but I think Vegas is a little bit better of a final round city, personally speaking.
Way better.
Yeah, so, all right, 250 main event coming up next here. We'll see who can win round 4 of this championship at Daytona, see if we see a fresh face at the front thus far. It has been 2 wins on the trot or 2 wins this year, I should say, for Bryce Whelan, and a win last week for Rasmus Balzer in the Triple Crown. If you're answering chat questions, Kellen, who's Weege's favorite current rider? I don't think Weege has a favorite current rider, but
it's still Brayton. It's always Brayton.
I mean, he's holding out hope that Justin Brayton will come back at some point in time, but we'll see.
Detroit line. My name is Awood Andrew, and I'm doing great.
Hey, Kellen and friend.
Friend, you didn't watch last week? Come on, go back, watch. Just skip the first 30 seconds. It's great stream.
Felt bad for you. It happens though. I've been there. I've been talking for a long time with a muted microphone.
I crushed the intro too.
Damn, dude.
Nailed it by heart, and then heart rate was up. It was 150. I was dialed, and I was looking, and I was when I was loading in, it was 150, and I'm like, you idiot. But the LCQs right off the bat got me dialed in, and I was having a good time. It was a really fun night, and yeah, thank you for letting me do that.
Well, thank you for doing it, because it wouldn't have gotten done until Monday if you didn't step into my shoes and do the job. So appreciate Andrew Wood last week for filling in. Thomas Kralowkowski, I think is how you say that. Track map didn't come out in time to make 2023 track ? No, that Daytona, the track that we had at Daytona last year is almost going to be identical this year. Ricky Carmichael just ran it back this year for 2023. Made like 2 jump changes, but the rest of the track is pretty much the exact same. So that is why we were running basically the exact same track. It is different. It really is different than the track that we have last year. If you play Daytona 23 versus 22, it has a couple different jump sequences and stuff like that to mimic what this year's track is supposed to be like. But yes, the layout is almost identical. So
yeah, I guess that's kind of the good thing about this game. You kind of saw you already saw it race. You can build it, and we actually can build in some of these inside ruts and stuff, and kind of see, maybe this corner was left wide open, so let's throw in 3 ruts here that are really good. These opportunities in that corner before the whoops we just saw. Everything's kind of evening out a little bit. You can make anything happen. Balls are here showing us not the right way to go through the split lane, but maybe they can even out. They saw one side get dominated, and they could try to even that out. So that's kind of what Ricky Carmichael said he was going for when he kind of explained it on the Pulp Show. He said, you know what, I want to see the same thing, just like car racing. You go to Laguna Seca, the same person's not going to win. You're not going to be the fastest every single time there. And yeah, some guys may end up being the best at a certain track, but it's going to break down differently. The riders aren't going to ride in the same spot. Ruts are going to change up. So we're even just seeing it in this game. So the real life race is for sure going to be different, I think, than last year.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go. It's round 4 of 250 East action. Coming to you live from Daytona, live on Starter Systems, Init Esports, and ESTV. Let's drop the gate. Who's going to get that whole shot? One of the Hondas out of the middle ran into the first corner first, but he ran wide. Seth Crotty picks up the Race Reactor Gaming whole shot award as he leads us through the first section. But Balzer, last week's winner on the 35, goes to the inside and takes the lead away. 35 out front.
Yeah, Balzer has just been on a good one these last couple weeks. Crotty as well. Both these guys with some good heat races here. Crotty's starts have just been amazing, though. Really surprising. I think that's Nygren, his teammate right behind him. Yes, it is. So those guys, too, on those looking like Bar X Yamahas here. Nygren with the outside line trying to pull. You see how that kind of yo-yos there. Really good way to see that. But look how close these guys are right here. Really interesting to see this top 3 close, and Balzer
made a mistake.
Inside.
So Crotty goes to the race lead there on the 59 machine to the outside, though, and up the inside, Balzer goes to right into the race lead again. Let's see if Crotty uses this inside to his advantage. It does not work, as right behind him, the 76 of Nygren is just pushing, trying to make a pass happen on his teammate Crotty. Ethan Gerst also up in the mix right here on the 42, but he almost goes through the front door right there. So it's Balzer from Crotty and the 76 of Nygren hopping through the whoops there in a little bit in the background, losing some time as Crotty is the only one able to get through as clean as Balzer did out front. Balzer is on a mission. He wants to open this gap up and leave everybody else in his dust to try to win his second race in a row.
Yeah, a great ride by him so far. Just it looks like he's just comfortable with this track. The way that we've seen him from fastest qualifier to just looking spunky in his heat race.
Ooh.
As I say that, almost goes through the front door there, but doesn't let it happen. Able to save it. Just kind of managing. These guys have figured out a little bit, where they're going to get the kicks. You should see the racing start to clean up a little bit more as we go throughout the night, but also good to see Gerst up there in 4th. Following that Suzuki train right there. He's up there in the championship, but he's had a rough couple weeks. So really interesting to see kind of just a little bit different faces too, kind of starting to come up. And like I said, I've wanted competition for Bryce Whelan, and right now he's all the way back in 8th place.
Yeah, I was going to say I've not seen a flash of that red plate through in the background yet, which means he's not obviously towards the front right now in that P8 position, but it also means he's lost a lot of track time already with the way that these gaps have opened up as Crotty barrel rolls out of the inside and holds on to 2nd place. I don't know how he landed that clean, but Nygren's going to take over the 2nd position from his teammate. Struggle street on that Dragon's back, though, for Nygren. Down the inside goes Gerst on the 42. He's trying to pass the 59 machine. Everyone's making mistakes, and our leader, Balzer, is down. Gerst almost goes from 4th to the lead in a blink of an eye around the outside of the inside. Crotty should hold this lead, though. If he does, Gerst is right there alongside of him into the tunnel jump. 3 riders nearly come together as Nygren comes up alongside, and Balzer has tossed the lead away. Crotty out front, Triley's over the finish line jump as we got Nygren moving into second place, and it's a Boots House 1-2 right now at Daytona as Gerst gets sideways. Nygren's trying to take the lead away from his teammate Crotty.
Yeah, Crotty able to hold on there, man. Those guys flew in formation. I wish they would have tossed it a little bit bigger, but they were perfectly framed for us to see. So love to see that, guys, out here trying to race a main event, but also kind of, putting on a show for the fans. So good to see that there. Crotty, though, and Nygren, they just seem like they're so perfectly matched in speed. They just have different spots where the other one is faster. Ethan Gerst there looking, shredding that inside line there. Looks like he's got some great speed, but that inside line kind of lets you poke your head in and say, show that you're there. And Nygren goes down hard on the triple step on. He must have got a weird kick on that roller before it. He was cartwheeling, kind of looked like before he even landed on top of the step on. So Nygren going to lose a lot of positions there after a great start.
I think he falls back all the way to 8th spot. Chromie up here. Whelan's also made some moves. Balls are still ahead of Whelan. You got Gerst right in the mix as well as Crotty continues to lead, but suddenly Bryce Whelan is in 4th position and lurking in the background as all these guys continue to make some mistakes and small bobbles. The one machine is a-coming as Crotty makes another mistake. Gerst to the outside, going to try to make the pass for the lead as Balzer closes up as well. 3 more riders going over. Are we going to have back-to-back Trileys on the finish line jump? Into the wall jump they go, crossing over a little bit. Let's see what we got. Dualies, yeah. I was going to say it's not Trileys that time. Here comes Balzer to the inside. He's going to try to make this pass. Oh, he plows into the face of that jump, though, and makes a mess of it. And Gerst not able to triple back on, so Balzer holds on to second. Crotty continues to lead the race, but this is absolutely kicking off in the early runnings of this 250 race. And do not forget the one machine of Bryce Whelan is lurking there in the background from 4th place.
Yeah, Bryce Whelan started out, first time I checked in with him, he was in 8th, and now he's pretty close up there in 4th. So Balzer battling, trying to make a pass around the outside. He does get the drive. Crotty, without the best drive on the inside there, he's going to give it up. Gerst is getting closer, and just like that, you could see Bryce Whelan right behind them, maybe less than a second behind your 3rd place position. He is ready to turn this into a 4-man show. He wants to make it through and make it a 1-man show, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he did. So these guys really need to get on it, and someone needs to try to lay the hammer down. Look at that Whelan closing in a little bit closer. You see him every time we check in with him. Gerst followed closely by Crotty, followed about the same gap back to Bryce Whelan. These guys all going to take different lines here coming into the whoop section. How's this going to fare? Some are jumping, some are blitzing. Crotty's moving over on Whelan, but Whelan's gaining a little bit of time. Who's going to go outside and inside? Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, split options, 2 different lines for both of our 4 leaders here. Oh, Crotty almost gets crossed over there in front of Gerst, but it was really tight between the 2 of them. Right now, Balzer's opened up a small gap. 3 more riders coming into the face of this jump again. Doolies over the finish line jump. Gerst and Crotty. Gerst into the top blocks. Absolutely takes Crotty down as he got kicked sideways in front of him. Crotty with a huge yard sale. That moves Whelan into 2nd place as several riders are going to go by. We got a freight train of riders coming into the mix. You got Nygren right here. You also got the 33 machine coming through. That's Joey Arico from the LCQ in the mix. He's going to go down the inside and put Gerst wide. You have Thomas Sunas with a good start. Zollers is up here. Chromie, Whelan, and Balzer. So once again, our favorites in the championship are finding their way to the front, but it's Rasmus Balzer who has opened up a comfortable lead at this point in time. We are just about to get to the halfway point of this main event, and we got a 5-second gap or so back to Bryce Whelan. So is this a situation where Balzer can start stretching the lead out front and get enough of a gap where if he does have a crash, it doesn't matter? Or is Whelan going to keep this thing close enough to keep the pressure on Balzer?
Yeah, like we said, the track's not going to break down shouldn't break down too much more because we're already less than 5 laps. Haven't even finished 5 laps, and we're 7 minutes into the race. So definitely not going to get anywhere near 15 laps. So this race almost halfway done, actually, if we kind of check with the timing. So Balzer just needs to separate himself. But the thing, if I'm Bryce Whelan, I'm sitting comfortably in 2nd place, and I'm riding my own race because there's a pretty big gap. He's got 6.5 seconds behind the lead, and then he's got another 6 seconds back to Chromie in 3rd, and then you've got that huge pack of everyone that was kind of running up front and then fell down. So as long as he can stay, he doesn't need to go up and catch Balzer. As long as he can stay in between those 2 gaps, I think he's fine. Like we said, Balzer, he might have won last week, but he was suspended for a round. He is 10th place in the championship, 40 points back. So if you're Bryce Whelan and your goal is to go out there and win a championship, win another one back-to-back years, you just got to play it smart and kind of settle in here and take the second place when it comes to you.
It looks like that's exactly what he's doing. He's just letting Balzer stretch this lead out and try to get away as Chromie riding through the sand whoops here in third place. It's starting to kick off a little bit back behind these guys. Thomas Sunis has ridden a terrific race thus far to the halfway point of this thing as he's dealing with pressure from Gerst. He's trying to hold on to a top 5, and Gerst just got sideways now as Karate, I think that is around the outside, is going to move up into 5th spot. You also have Evan Holt with a good ride. Oh, and he crosses back over and absolutely ruins Ethan Gerst's day. I mean, Gerst basically got dragged up inside the rear wheel there.
It's bad when you get taken down from the outside from a guy that just broke wheel traction. And it feels so bad when you're the guy that does that. Done that to some leaders before on accident, but it's like, sorry, I'm not good at the game. Like, I get a little sketchy sometimes. Not saying that Gerst is not, but man, that's just, or that Holtzy's not, but that's just bad luck there. But man, Zoller is right here. Gerst has so much speed. He's just made so many mistakes. Like, it amazes me every time that we've seen him. But Zoller is here. He's second place in the championship. He's 14 points back. So he's kind of one I'm looking to step up. Cody Cooper, who was in third in points, missed the main. And Chromie's next up, 32 points back. So really, if you're thinking championship implications, Zollers is the only one really that has, honestly, I think, any chance. So he's got to try to do something. I don't think he catches Whelan here, but maybe he can make a statement and gain some confidence as he stacks that rhythm and loses a spot to Ethan Gerst.
Yeah, well, I mean, if he is the only guy that has a shot, he is currently losing a huge hunk of points down in 9th place behind Gerst. Rico up ahead of these guys, so is Evan Holt, Seth Crotty, Thomas Sunis, Chromie, and then Whelan all the way up here still in second. It's 7.3 seconds, by the way. Whelan out front. Had a request to check out times in chat, so let's go ahead and do that. Bryce Whelan on a 26.3. The track looks to be slowing down just a little bit. He's done a 23.8 for his best, 26.4 for Whelan, but 25.7 was his best, so definitely not pushing the same level that we're seeing out of Whelan, or out of Balzer out front. 27.9 for Thomas Sunis as he's moved up into a podium position in what I think is still his first main event of the year. This has been a great ride for Thomas Sunis tonight. He's looking a little bit fresher this week for sure, and running in those 27s. Looks like he's in a battle, though, with, who is he battling with? Chromie.
Down.
Yeah, Matt Chromie's back here now in 4th, 28.8 last time by, 28.4 is his best. And let's see, lap time check. Yeah, 31.1, so he definitely had to slide out somewhere. Crotty in the 29s at a 29.9, or now 29.5, I should say, 28 flat, his best. Joey Rico on a 26.9 resets his own personal best right there, 25.2. Gerst does another personal best as well. Zoller's in the 30s and 29s, Evan Holt in the 27s, and Alex Horn in the 27s as well. So our leaders really separating themselves by being in those 24, 23 second range, of course, with a 1 minute at the beginning of that, as Balzer continues to stretch this lead out front. And honestly, Balzer is looking smooth as butter at this point in time. He has not made too many mistakes since getting this fresh air at the front. The only thing that still stands in his way right now is, of course, his track is deteriorating, so that's another thing. But he's also going to run into some lap traffic here before long. He's going to catch maybe a group of about 3 of them here, probably this next lap by, as we still have about 3.5 minutes left of this race, plus that lap at the end. Balzer still putting it down, and he's going to lay down a 24.1 this time by as he stretched out to 9.2 seconds on the number 35, Yannick and Rasmus Kawasaki.
Yeah, he honestly just looks so good here. Even making mistakes right as I say that, but he looks in control, you know. There's a difference when you're kind of casing your way through a section like that where you get it wrong and you're kind of kicking everywhere side to side, and then kind of how he looked right there, just kind of in control, like, yeah, I missed the line. I'm not gonna jump this cleanly. I'm gonna case up a little bit, but I'm not getting sketchy, and you're honestly not really worried to crash. But Balzer is just kind of out here flowing with the line, still dropping fast lap times as he goes. Maybe gained a lot of confidence last week after taking that Triple Crown win. You know, he's been battling all year. It really is a bummer that he had some mix-up earlier in the championship and ended up missing a round. But he's honestly looks great here tonight, and he's turning it around as he's coming up, trying to lap the number 71 here. But, man, look at just – this track is so rough. And then these things, it's crazy. These whoops are so big. These guys are making mistakes. But can you wrangle it back underneath you? That's all that really matters. Get it together, hit that triple out. He keeps on pushing, and he keeps extending his lead.
Yeah, now out over 10 seconds, and if you're just joining us for the first time ever in MotoOption Supercross, that 10-second mark is pretty critical in this game, because if you are able to get about a 10-second gap, that is about the time it takes to have one full crash in this game. When you crash, your legs fall off the bike, so we sometimes call it a legs off or a fall off crash. And between 8 to 12 seconds, it's just a variance depending on how long you roll or if you flip or whatever. But if you have a 10-second gap, you're usually pretty safe to at least survive and maintain the position that you had in the race. So right now, Balzer holding on to a 9.3-second advantage, trying to keep it rolling. Want to give a quick shout out in chat, BH50 in the chat with a $5 donation, and says, "Hey Kellen, you're a cute man." Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the donation and the continued support of the channel. This is actually the first pro stream that we've done since we hit 100,000 subscribers, so I definitely want to give a huge shout out to everybody that watches these races every week. Hit 100,000 on YouTube about 2 weeks ago now, and man, still just going and grinding away, and it's been awesome to be on this journey the whole way through with you guys following along. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, it was awesome. I felt bad. I mean, doing the first race stream since you hit it, but I mean, look at the numbers. You pull in more numbers than just me. No one wants to just sit there and hear me talk the whole time. But
they loved you.
Yeah, I had a lot of support. It was fun. It was a good time. But hopefully we can be here I can be here almost every week to come in and help you out. I always have a good time doing these streams with you, watching some racing. Even if you do have a guy like Balzer kind of making the race a little bit boring here by just being so good right now. Really glad to see he stepped up. It bums me out because I feel like he's hitting a stride right now and he's got something.
Yeah.
And he's just not there in the championship. But, I mean, we can just keep celebrating, stack up those race wins, man. Just like we talked about the heat race earlier with Crotty doing a burnout. Go out there, celebrate, take those wins because you don't know how many you're going to get, if any, in a career. So, and he's doing it dominatingly. This is one that you keep talking about for years. Yeah, you won a Triple Crown. You know, you had one good moto and a couple of these. This one, you went out, you laid it down. You had a great...
Oh,
shit,
no. Fortunately, it's a huge lead now.
That's good.
Oh, man. I was going to say, I'm with you on that because, winning a Triple Crown, winning any race is fantastic. But winning Daytona, just especially has that extra little kind of niceness to it.
Yeah, you do it. You go out, even if this happens, if he made a mistake, if he gets in lappers, you go and you're like, I don't care. It was 15 minutes in. I was about to get white flag, and I had a 20-second lead. It is really close.
This is getting tight. Riders are going down. They almost got landed on one right there, and Whelan's kind of starting to weave into the picture right here. The fortunate news for Balzer is the white flag will be waving this time by, so Balzer coming out right here is going to get the white flag. Final lap of the race here in the 250 main event from Daytona. Can Bryce Whelan put in one last charge to get all the way up to our race leader, Balzer? Balzer made a couple more mistakes through that section. Let's see what happens here. Is the 35 machine going to be able to hold on as the one machine lurks in the background? More riders crashing away as Balzer just trying to get through this. Let's go on board 35 again. Clear track for about 3 more straightaways, so he has got it all to play for here. 4.5 second lead, I should say now. As long as he doesn't make a big mistake, this is going to be his to lose.
Yeah, I think he's got it, but I am scared. I'm really nervous here. He's track's breaking down a little bit more. He's been making a couple more mistakes. You just start to get flustered. It comes to realization. You were just winning Daytona by like 15, 20 seconds. So you can hang your hat on that. You got half a lap to go. All you have to do is survive, going outside, hitting kind of the easier lines that he think is going to help him. Jumping everything straight, Oh, and looks like our second place rider went down. So Whelan went down somewhere. He can take a huge breath. I would expect him to chill through these whoops.
He's kind of hopping through, making it easy. Still gets the triple double. And this is a welcome sight again. So we have a 2-time winner already this year in Bryce Whelan. He got it done in the first 2 rounds. But Rasmus Balzer has come back in a vengeance. He wins the Triple Crown at Arlington. And Rasmus Balzer wins the Daytona Supercross in the 250 class in MX Simulator in 2023.
Yeah, what an amazing ride by him. Just coming up, showing out 2 weeks in a row. Bryce Whelan coming across in second. And then looks like he's going to have a huge gap back to Alec Horn. He's kind of cruising around here alone, I think. We'll see
Yeah,
if
I
there's
don't think
anyone.
he's got any
Matt
pressure.
Cromie was up there up front early. He was third. Thomas Unis was fourth. Actually might have made the pass, so they were battling. They drop a couple spots. Close battle here down to the line. Cromie's going to get it. Thomas Unis is going to pull his best, was that Bloss?
Macklebloss.
Macklebloss. Oh, and Cromie cast.
No, that's not Cromie. That's a lap
okay.
rider. Calm it down. Almost lost it right there, Haywood. Cronny's going to cross the line in 6th. Rico 7th. Zoller's in 8th. Evan Holt will get 9th, and a great ride for him. And Colin Allen rounds out the top 10. Gers, Zellner, Kelly, West, Nygren, or Nygren West, I should say, because West went down. Trey Smith, first guy a lap down. Got Sonny Spicer, Trent Adams, Cole Grest, Race Cobble, Brandon Holmes, and Alex Heckman all in this one, finishing it up a lap down. So we went 12 laps in this 250 main event. It was definitely a shorter one for sure. But prevailing in the end for the second week in a row, Rasmus Balzer. He's already disconnected. He says, I'm out of here. Deuces.
He's going to the club to celebrate. He's on his way to Razzles right now.
He's heading to Razzles.
Oh, man.
Oh, good stuff.
What a
Rasmus
great ride.
Balzer.
Let's check through and see if any positions changed.
Yeah,
Cuts just came in.
Looks pretty well good throughout the field. 95 and 132s exchanging positions down in 16th. Everybody else stayed the exact same, though. So pretty clean race overall. And in the end, Rasmus Balzer gets the win. He's going right here, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to victory lane at Daytona, the World Center of Racing. Looks like the textures are a little bit off, but we got the crowd gathered around. Yeah. We got this gentleman sitting here waiting. This guy doesn't seem to care. He's looking over here.
I want to be on the tracks. I'm going to cut myself out of the picture and try to get on some of the national tracks there. And then we used to have some special guests jumping in. Pretty sure we had like Byron in one. That guy looks like my stepbrother. But
there's not many people on the tracks anymore, though.
You know this. Someone, St. Louis, jumped off the side of I think it was in a race, jumped off and landed on the side of maybe it was in practice.
In real life?
Yeah, real life. St. Louis. It wasn't Bloss. I think it was a 450 rider. Bloss keeps coming into my head. McElrath wasn't riding at that time. His name's in my head for some reason too, but it's got to be like 2015, 2016. They jumped and landed, just missed it. I like clipped their bar.
Oh, the tunnel jump, you mean?
99% sure it was St. Louis. Not Cat, straight where that missed.
I know Cole Seeley crashed on a tunnel jump once and his bike missed it, but he landed on it. I'm trying to remember if there was a situation where somebody jumped off the side, though.
I don't know. I swear it happened. I'm pretty sure, or it's just one of those things I created in my head. Just like those memories. But I don't know. Bummer to see Thomas Unis send it right off the side at the end like that.
He stayed up. He's good.
He's all right.
All is well that ends well.
Seeley. Maybe it was Seeley. Jeff Walker in chat.
Yeah, I thought it was. From what I remember of the Seeley crash,
I think he was going off and he the side and like
and stayed on, I thought.
Yeah, F that. I'm not falling 20 feet. I'm going to like bail and land it on it.
He was moonlighting for Factory Honda in the 450 class while riding for TLD, I think. And this happened at Atlanta? No, maybe you're right. Maybe it was St. Louis. But I do know I can visually remember seeing exactly what it is that you're talking about. And of course, Jeff Walker in chat, huge fan. Everybody's super stoked that Jaywalk is here.
Cole Seeley's huge crash down the bridge jump at St. Louis.
So you had the right
2012
right rider. Is that it,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like his bike fell and then he landed on it. Okay, so yeah.
That was instantly the second I saw that happen. I was like, oh! Poor Seeley, man.
Poor Seeley.
Poor Seeley.
We're supposed to see him race sometime this year for Moto Concepts.
Did he race already and then?
No, he hasn't raced Supercross yet. I mean, he raced WSX, but
I don't know.
A lot of people call me his brother. So I look a lot like Cole Seeley.
Look like it.
Yeah, here we go again. I look like Cole Seeley. I don't know. We'll see it.
Your wife's better looking than all his girlfriends, though.
Yikes.
Yikes! No,
It's an MX Yikes scenario. I thought Danielle was nice, wasn't she?
she is nice. She is hot. Yeah. She's like 6 ago though. He goes through those like underwear these days.
Jeez, okay. Let's get back on track. We got 450 main event coming up. Round 8 of MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross in MX Simulator. Daytona. 20 minutes plus a lap at the World Center of Racing. Hopefully you guys are ready for this one. Alexis Leclerc looks ready. He's out here putting the laps in. Leclerc has not won a main event this year, has he? He's still not quite crested it off because Carter won 4 of the first 6. Johnson won Oakland, and Eaglen won the 2 Triple Crowns.
Yeah,
so Leclerc does not have a win yet.
I feel like it could be his night.
We'll see. Can the 7 get it done? Can Johnson spoil the party, get his 2nd win of the year? Eaglen trying to go for his 3rd win, and Carter going for his 5th win of the season. Or can somebody else break through for their 1st win aside from Mr. Alexis Leclerc? Let's find out right now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Here we go. Revs are up at the World Center of Racing, and the gate is down as we go into the first corner. Who's going to get the whole shot? It was Hubbard with the whole shot, but he blows off the track. Caden Speck takes over the race lead. Hubbard jumps back on in 2nd. He's trying to go to the lead, but it is Leclerc taking it over. Leclerc at the front. Eaglen looks like he's up there in the 24 as well. I think I see Johnson maybe in the mix as well. I'm trying to count all these guys.
Johnson
Laying with a
16th.
bad start. Oh, Johnson down in 17th. Rough start for him. And it looks like Carter's in about 5th spot. So some of the heavy hitters up here. Johnson, not a good start for him as well.
Man, that was insane start there. Hubbard just kind of forgot there was a turn, just kind of kept sending it. But look at Leclerc with that triple to the end, or a triple on, single or a double to the inside, hits that rut. Colby Eaglen, the closest one to him. Braden Carter now up in the 4th. Sullivan as well in 5th. So we got some guys who can compete with him. But Leclerc getting a whole shot out front, especially on a track like tonight. Does he tidy up those mistakes that he made earlier? He now knows how the track is going to break down. They are going to be racing it a little bit longer, but when you get off to a great start like this, he's already got about a 2-second lead in front of these riders here. He might just be able to check out. So if I'm Eaglen or Carter, I am going trying to put down the fastest laps I can right away and getting away from the rest of the field.
Well, Leclerc is going to bring us down and lead the end of the first lap here at Daytona. On to lap number 2 we go. It is Colby Eaglen in 2nd. Caden Speck in 3rd. Caleb Hall is up into 4th. Matherly is now 5th. Hubbard 6th. Holmes 7th. Parks 8th. Castellaneta 9th. Sullivan 10th. Carter has gone down. He's all the way back in 12th, side by side here with Frank Jackson. You got the 51 of Johnson also in the mix of this group. He's trying to jump through the middle. Made a little bit of a mistake as Carter is going to hop all the way into the corner trying to pass his teammate Frank Jackson. Jackson just kind of lets him go. Carter doesn't triple on. Shirley has to take evasive actions not to hit him, and Shirley goes down. So Carter has a lot of work to do from back here, as too does Payson Johnson. And it's all to play for with Alexis Leclerc at the front of this field. He and Colby Eaglen working on checking out. And this is about the best case scenario thus far for Leclerc in 2023. None of the real heavy hitters in Carter or Johnson right on his tail. Eaglen is close, but he's already got that gap established out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Leclerc's been around a long time. He knows how to win races, and he's gotten some good starts so far this year, but hasn't been able to put the whole package together. But I feel like this is just his style track. Like, he's so good at outdoors. He's won championships before. He knows what to do, and he's ridden Daytona a lot here. And very, very similar track layout. So sometimes you just go to a track and you know there's going to be a certain guy whose style shines. And that's Leclerc tonight. Eaglen really impressing me, though, by just the kind of mid-season form he's coming into after we're 7 rounds down in this championship. And I like that little alternate line. He goes triple quad over, triple out on those rollers. That was pretty smooth and doesn't look as dangerous as the step over line. But Eaglen just really coming around and starting to put together some good finishes. Started off strong, winning that first Triple Crown early on in the year, won last week, and just coming out and putting together some great rides. So really good to see him up here having a strong start to this race so far. Yeah,
and I wonder if, for Eaglen's sake, if he's able to come through and try to win this main event, if this just kind of keeps that ball rolling a little bit from the Triple Crown. The Triple Crowns are always a little bit weird, but if you can get a win at one of these 20-minute plus one-lap main events, it really kind of changes the mindset a little bit and not only shows that you have the speed to win, but that you can actually win these main events. So Eaglin's going to do his best to try to close up on Leclerc, but Leclerc's been solid at the front, jumping through the whoops in 3 jumps right there, 3-3-4 as he jumps through, goes to the outside here in the split options. Uh-oh, a little slide out right there. Fortunate not to hit his head on the side, but that's going to allow Eaglin to close this gap down a little bit more, and suddenly we have a little bit of a race on our hands here at the front of this 450 main event at Daytona. Eaglin versus Leclerc.
Yeah, I actually like that. I like him going down and making it tighter because I feel like this thing's could be a war. Colby Eaglin running the 122.6 last lap, only 1.6 seconds back. You see that quad over line, and then he's tripling out. I love that line, and I haven't seen anyone else do it all night. It's weird to think that would have just kind of came out of nowhere so far into the race. Let's see what kind of lap time Leclerc's running really quick, and then we can come back and watch this chase. So it's 122.1. So a little bit faster with his best lap, but had that 126 with that fall last lap. So 1.4 seconds. Eaglin just look at him pushing it. He goes down over the bars.
Same thing. That rear tire clipping that roller going into this section past the mechanics area, and suddenly the battle for the lead that was brewing has been spoiled. Eaglin's going to lose a position, go back to 3rd place as Caleb Hall moves up to 2nd, but suddenly Leclerc has a big lead. Castellaneta is there now in 4th, and Frank Jackson rounding out the top 5. Matherly, Sullivan, Holm, Hubbard, Padani, Parker, Speck, Johnson finally coming through here in the mix right in front of Ethan Parks. Did we miss Carter? Carter is, he's right in front of Adam Holm. I thought he was a little bit farther up than I thought when we went through the field right there, but interesting synopsis. A couple things I want to shout out real quick while we're in the middle of this race, but huge thanks to BH50, who super chatted $5 and says, huge congrats on 100K. Been watching since early track walk days. Horsing Around, I think, was the first one. Episode 56. That's a very long time ago, so thanks so much for the support. And Adam Burry also says, for $4.99 donation in the chat, he says, does scrubbing in this game work? Like, actually make a difference in speed? Yes, it absolutely does. If you can scrub off the jump faces in this game, stay lower to the ground, it's remarkable how much more speed you can carry from section to section. You'll kind of notice that all these really top guys kind of even do a little bit of a flick scrub on every single jump. Like right here, for example, Carter was jumping into that section. Woo! Getting out of the way. That's Sullivan on the right side of the track. But even the single jumps, these guys sometimes will even do like a little flick of the bars to stay that little bit lower. So yes, scrubbing does work. I have a tutorial out on the Start Your Systems YouTube channel. If you want to search Scrubbing MX Simulator, you can learn how to do it or how it works in this game. But it is a very important technique to stay low and stay fast at the highest level in this game.
Yeah, it's, there's also techniques too with where you're just sitting down, whether you're sitting and standing at the right time, soaking up bumps, just like real life. You see, if you watch right now, you see so much body movement by these guys, not even when they're whipping, just kind of putting themselves in the right position. You're always moving forward and back on the bike, trying to stay low. So you'll see a lot of these guys, they're not just turning their bars for fun, a lot of little brake checks and stuff like that. So especially when you watch some of these top guys, Braden Carter is one of the best of them. You definitely can see the difference too. Wait till someone makes a pass or they're going up the tunnel jump and one person is able to kind of turn down off of it and one person has to hit it straight air. You'll be able to tell a lot of the difference in the height and how long it takes them to get back to the ground, just like why people are scrubbing in real life.
Oh, rider down. That is Braden Castellaneta. That's going to be another spot there for his teammate Carter, who's gone through and is now tailing Cade Matherly. You got Frank Jackson up here in 4th place. Caleb Hall is still in 3rd. Eaglin has stretched his gap out ahead of Caleb Hall, but he still has a long ways to go. Alexis Leclerc has a huge gap right now. And actually, I want to do something that I haven't done a super long time here. We're about halfway through this race. Going to do a little run through the field, but we're going to actually do it head on looking through the whoop section right here. So as Leclerc comes in, we're going to give you guys a quick idea of where everyone is at in the field. So there's Leclerc out front, and this gives you an indication of the gaps. He's got a huge gap right now, all the way back to Colby Eaglin. So here comes Eaglin to the inside right here as he's coming through the whoops now in 2nd on the 24 machine. There's Eaglin right there. Then back here, that is Caleb Hall in the 39 entering the whoops right now. You also have Frank Jackson right behind him on the 29, or 28, I should say. Then off the right side of the track is Matherly. That's Carter. There's Luke Sullivan on the 11, Hubbard on the 78, the 12, I should say, of Castellaneta. Then the 17 of Holm, the 51 of Johnson coming through the field right there. Who we got next? Coming in right here on Couldn't quite, that's Seabolt on the 10. The 89 of Caden Speck. There's the 16 machine. I think I couldn't quite tell the number. Yeah. 5 of Lang, 32 right there of Bodie Parker. There's Ethan Parks on the 147. 0 of Reno Brennan, but he's the number 422 in your program books. And is this B. Lars bringing up the back? Not quite. Brandon Larson on the 573 machine coming through right there. Oh, and getting swapped diddly in the whoops right there.
Pretty sure.
He wrote it out.
Yeah.
So 152 of Jeremy Schiabro getting squiddy, as we like to call it, as he goes through the whoop section right there. And we still got somebody else coming through. Seth Shirley on the 44 machine. Looks like he's bringing up the caboose as he goes flying off the track.
He did not write that one out.
And here's Leclerc all the way back through. We've made it all the way through the field. So that's just a cool... Sometimes I like doing that just to show the gaps at this point in the main event. We're about halfway through. Love kind of seeing that view so we can see where everyone's at, see how much work some guys still have to do, and it gives you a better idea of it instead of just constantly switching through these guys and trying to figure out where everybody's at. So Leclerc still the gap over Eaglin, but battle for third starting to brew now. Jackson, Hall side by side right now. Hall's trying to hold on to third. Jackson going down the inside trying to make the pass, but Carter is in the mix. 3 riders going at it. Jackson inside to out, might pass into third place. Not quite. As you see, Carter's actually going to pass him because Jackson made a mistake. Caleb Hall is trying to pinch the line down to the flag here to keep Carter behind him. But let's see if Carter's going to make something happen here down through the rollers.
Yeah, not the guy that you want to be right hot on your heels. They do the alternate lines there. Caleb Hall is going to get the preferred line where he goes over, hits that quad, and gets out. But look at that, so close still. It is a preferred line, but it's got to be half a tenth. You know, these guys, they're kind of fighting for every little thing. Up the inside, Braden Carter's going to try to make the move. He's got the lead right now, but does the drive change coming into now? They're going to switch up. Hall's got the inside, Carter's got the middle, and just like that, Hall's able to hold on to it. Braden Carter gets nothing out of those 2 turns. He's actually going to almost get past up the inside. A little mistake there by the number 28 of Frank Jackson. He's not able to make the pass stick. He was trying to move up the inside. So we got these 4 Yamahas, 1, 2, 3, 4, right, basically a bike length apart from these guys. And just like that, Hall pushes the front over that berm, trying to push just a little too much. Carter, though, not in the clear yet. He's got Frank Jackson hot on his heels. They're also using different lines. These are both close. They both set you up on the inside. Looks like Braden Carter is going to get a good drive here, though, and separate himself a little bit from Frank Jackson after all of that.
Yeah, I think if you can go to the inside into those whoops right there and still get on top and blitz them like Carter did, that's just the optimal way to get through him. As we saw Jackson lose quite a bit of time right there. So now for Carter, up into third place. This might be his stalling point, though. We still have a little less than half of this main event to go, but he's got 9 seconds, or actually 11 seconds, I should say. Math wrong a little bit right there if he wants to get to Colby Eaglin in a battle for second place. Eaglin kind of all by himself as Leclerc continues to lead this main event, and Leclerc himself is kind of all by himself as well. So our front 3. Oh, and Carter down in the mogul section. So there goes Frank Jackson. There goes Cade Matherly. There goes Luke Sullivan. Anybody else going to go by? Yes, another rider. That is Jacob Hubbard, his teammate. So a few riders going by. Hubbard, the last one to get through, but Matherly, Sullivan also getting through. Matherly's made it all the way up into 4th position now. So good ride for 25 machine of Cade Matherly. Sullivan trying to keep him honest, though. And again, they're trying to reel up into the clutches there of Frank Jackson, who's now moved into 3rd place.
Yeah, Matherly with a great heat and a great main event here so far. Luke Sullivan trying to make a pass. He's the only one besides Leclerc I've seen do that inside triple. He's going to go ahead and scrub. They threw dualies for sure, opposite ways. He's got the inside line here, though. He's going to go ahead and take that from him. Oh, no, he kind of dives in a little too sharp, pushes the front.
Oh, then Matherly went down, I think.
Was that Matherly? So Matherly made it.
That was Jackson. So Matherly's up to 3rd, and he went down, too.
He's down.
So that actually moves Sullivan up into 3rd place. Carter is now up into 4th, and Hubbard moves into 5th place as well. Then Hall, Jackson, Matherly, all coming through with Castellaneta in the mix. So there's a good little freight train of riders right here. Telling you what, though, Payson Johnson has not made his way through the field as well as I kind of expected him to. This has been a bit of a lackluster performance, I'm sure, on his own behalf that he would not be stoked about. Right now in 10th place, he's got to make up a lot more ground to gain points in this championship to gain some stuff here on Braden Carter. But of course, our race leader, Alexis Leclerc, at the moment is going to provisionally move into 2nd in the championship, and it really comes down to how much he's going to gain on Carter at the end of the night. As Jackson pushes the front wheel, Johnson's going to slide by up into 9th place. Still quite a bit of racing left to go, though. We have 6.5 minutes left on the clock we'll see whether or not Payson Johnson can slice and dice his way through these guys, maybe come out of the top 5 before the end of it, because everyone's still pretty close together. Even Carter in a tight-knit battle right now with Luke Sullivan trying to move into 3rd place, and he's going to get it done, but even Carter's not that far ahead of where Johnson is on the track.
Yeah, we saw it when Carter went down 12 minutes into the race, and he loses about 5 or 6 spots. So that's just kind of what happens in the 450 class when these top racers, they're that much consistency. There's not that much of a gap. Payson Johnson, again, with the lap times, I would be curious to go and see, as we see a rider going down up there.
I think that was Jackson
Yamaha,
again.
Jackson again, probably going down. But Payson has the speed. I feel like I wanted him to, I thought he would be good because of he's good at outdoors sometimes. But honestly, the way his Supercross season's been going, he's taking time bomb. And he makes another pass right there. But this track, you saw it in the 250 class, it's coming up to bite everyone, even biting most of these guys. So I feel like he's just pushing and kind of throwing it away just like that, jumping off track, little mistakes like that. You can't get away with those all night. And I feel like he's been yo-yoing a little bit. Braden Carter had a mistake. We saw him come like from 15th to 5th and back to 10th, but now he's coming back and pushing. For Payson Johnson, I don't know if the night's going to be over. I don't think he knows when to stop pushing. Almost saw a mistake right there. Could have easily caught his shoulder and went down. But as far as right now, he is moving up through the pack and through the lappers cleanly, as he actually is going to get another one there.
Yeah, that's Hubbard going down right there.
Goes into the Davalos bales. Must have missed that step off a little bit. But, yeah, he's ripping. It's just it's kind of a tale as old as time right now. Like, look, the stuff he does on the bike is amazing, but he's pretty inconsistent. So, up into 5th now. This is, I think, the highest we've seen them all race.
Oh, Carter just getting up from a crash right there. Johnson has to come to a near stop as they kind of hop through the whoops together. So I will say, I mean, Johnson was not making a lot of progress, but he made a lot of progress in a very short amount of time. Even burned down a 121.3. Gets around Carter, who just blew it on the inside line right there. So now Johnson, who was losing quite a bit of points to Carter, is actually gaining points on him in the championship. And that's going to help Leclerc as well. So a 25.8 wasn't the best lap, but he's definitely putting the speed down. Big crash in the background. I think, no, it's not Eaglin, but it's one of the District Designs riders having a big off in the background. Oh, Carter elected not to go in hot on Johnson. Remember, these two have had some history this year. Hubbard ends up going to the inside, making the pass on his teammate Carter. We also have Cade Matherly in the mix, but that's something to keep an eye on. Carter versus Johnson. They've had a few run-ins already this year. Are we going to see another one here tonight?
Yeah, I feel like Carter really just has his sights set on the championship, and he doesn't want to poke the bear. Payson Johnson maybe a little bit more hot-headed. Carter they've both gotten into it with each other, and look at that, just a little mistake. Almost able to make the pass there as Johnson kind of slides out, goes over that inside rut. But I feel like as this championship keeps going further and further down, I think they're pretty close in age, but Carter just kind of, I feel like he wants to stay away from most of the drama. So if he can hold it from diving in on him, he's going to take it a little bit differently. It's just like you're out there racing Barsha or something. You're going to ride him a little bit differently than the rest of the field. You don't really want to poke the bear here, but doesn't mean he's not going to try to win the race. Actually pushes the front a little bit there, goes over the berm, so he's going to lose a spot to Sullivan.
If you're going to cheat,
Hubbard.
man, you got to cheat the other way. You got to go inside to inside, not outside to outside. Come on, Carter. What are we doing here? Going to get passed by his teammate Hubbard, like you said. So he's got the pace in hand to run up to Johnson, but it looks like Johnson's done a nice job of just hitting his marks, doing the same laps over and over again, and now has a bit of a gap established. It looks like Hubbard may have gone down because Carter is around him, as is one of the lap drivers back there. So Castellaneta moves forward. Here's Johnson, though, like I said, in 4th. Haven't talked too much about Luke Sullivan tonight, though. What a tremendous ride for the TSCZ Productions number 11 ride. Sullivan, first full year of the 450 class, and I feel like he's getting better and better as the year goes on. He's just kind of finding his way into this front group a little bit more often, showing his head up here now in the podium position here at Daytona. This will be a good momentum builder for the 11 machine if he can come out of here on the box. Yeah,
it's been a great ride from the beginning of the night. Can't remember exactly where he qualified, but he had a strong heat race showing. So there's sometimes just nights where a certain name just keeps popping out at you. They just keep putting themselves in front of the camera in a great position and just kind of showing something different. And Sullivan, really proud too. Just kind of seems like he's same thing as Eaglin, kind of turning it on here a little bit later in the championship. We saw it with Rasmus Balzer in the 250 class. But Sullivan just looks really great tonight, just definitely gels with the track. And I don't know, maybe this is a little bit of a sign for the outdoor season. You know, if he's coming out, he just looks so good. He doesn't look as sketchy as everyone else. Everyone else looks like they have like balls to the wall speed, but they're kind of getting kicked everywhere, and he just looks so smooth and planted compared to kind of everyone else that we're watching here on the track. It's
just as we said that, Haywood, it's killing you. Oh, Johnson down. So Sullivan goes down, Johnson goes down, and suddenly Carter steals away a podium here with just less than a minute to go. We are running low on time. Looks like we're going to have 2 to go this time by. Yeah, Leclerc's going to check in again out front. And look at this, Tyler Lang, last year's Daytona Supercross winner, getting put a lap down now by Leclerc. You hate to see it. Not a great night thus far for Tyler Lang. He's going to really regret that he didn't take more advantage of this racetrack, but 2 to go for Leclerc as he checks in out front. We got 20 seconds left on the clock, so he'll definitely get the white flag next time by as he weaves through some lap traffic, and he just clipped a guy as he quadded over and somehow did not go down. Leclerc, the maestro of coming out of some sticky situations like that. 16.6 second lead still in hand over Colby Eagland, and Leclerc is just masterfully working through these guys right now, continuing to establish a little bit more of a lead as Eagland still sits in second, Carter third, Sullivan back to fourth, and now can Johnson regroup, close up on Sullivan, maybe make a late pass and try to get into fourth place here before this thing's over.
Yeah, man, it's great ride so far by Carter to come back so far. Look at Payson. That would have been nuts, but like that's why he will go from 5th back to 10th, down to 5th back to 10th. Is like just trying to. You don't need to be doing that when you're in 5th place. But I don't really think Payson cares about the championship as much. I've heard from some people that kind of talk to him a little bit. I mean, that's what he says. Everybody wants to win races and championships, but it's just like little things like that I feel like he could avoid, and he could definitely have some better finishes. But still an impressive ride.
Jesus.
Like you don't. So yeah, they're like, he just wants to throw hot laps and be like, I'm the fastest, I'm the best. He doesn't really care to win. I'm like instantly like bullshit. But been watching a lot of Poker Face. So he'll like he says that, and that's what I think. But then I watch him, and I'm like, no, that's pretty much what he's doing. He's just kind of sending it, and it's cool. It gets us to talk about him, and it's fun to watch. But it's man, if you want to win championships, you can't do that. But man, look at Sullivan under all the pressure. This has got to be the scariest person to have behind you.
Golly, man.
Johnson.
He was ripping for like 4 straight corners right there, doing
and
some things that I would only dream about doing in this game for like 4 straight corners. 22-2. He's done a 20.1 in this main event. He's almost into the teens on those lap times, which only a handful of guys even did in qualifying. So Johnson's absolutely flying. Does that wheelie into the face line. Sullivan's keeping him honest, though. He is not letting the 51 machine get by easily, but now makes a mistake. By the way, white flag is waving as Leclerc is checked in out front. Carter, a little bit of a gap back to Johnson. So as long, getting into some lap traffic, that's not going to help his case. But Johnson's going to probably get hung up a little bit by those guys as well. Yeah, had to go outside of the main rut, so he's going to get pushed a little ways back. Meanwhile, 2 turns to go. Well, it took a long time to get here, but he quietly snuck away just like we always have seen him do in the past. Got out front early, pulled a huge lead, and he's going to pull it off for the first time in 2023. Alexis Leclerc is a winner. He takes the Daytona Supercross and MX Simulator, the 7, back up on top here tonight.
Dominating fashion, takes that win. Colby Eagland over the tunnel jump. Tried to keep him honest, but man, it's hard when you see Leclerc go out and get a whole shot like that, and you're right behind him. Best I can do is try to hang on. Colby Eagland with a great ride here. Just wasn't able to keep him honest there. Braden Carter fought back from a lot of adversity. Hit the gate off the start. Went up, went down, but he's coming across the line in 3rd, so he's going to minimize the damage that happens. Payson Johnson does end up coming across the line in 4th. Looks like he might have sent the wall over there. Luke Sullivan, after a great ride, was through the LCQ. I was just making stuff up. He gets 5th. Braden Castellaneta, he comes through in 6th. Frank Jackson over the wall now over the wall. Going to come across in 7th place. So now we start to see the gaps get a little bit bigger. Jeremy Siebel, great ride in 8th place. He's been around forever. It's probably his 200th top 10. Cade Matherly, great ride tonight. He's been having some great finishes now, moving up in this 450 class. Just slowly itching away at the top 10s there. And Jacob Hubbard, a little bit of a rough night. Clean little backflip over the wall. And he's going to come across and finish up 10th place.
All right.
Another little backflip.
So Hubbard rounds out our top 10. Hall, Parks, Padani, Lang, Brennan, Shirley, Holm, Larson, Schiabro, Speck, Parker, Smith was your field here tonight. Taking a look at cuts to see if anything changed among the groups. Looks like everything pretty well sorted as Leclerc takes the win in Daytona. Eaglin picks up a second, and Carter takes third. So unofficially, Carter will leave here with a 14-point championship lead still, as Leclerc is going to leapfrog past Payson Johnson in the standings, and he will now be 14 back. Johnson will go from 18 back to 20 back in the standings, and Eaglin has still not closed in to within one race distance. He only gained 2 points tonight, so he's 30 back, which means that Carter 14 up on Leclerc, 20 up on Johnson, and 30 up on Eaglin as we come up to the halfway point of this championship next week in Indianapolis. Daytona done and dusted. All right, back up in studio with you guys here, Kellen Brower and Andrew Wood, bringing you guys the action tonight for round 8 of the 2023 MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross Championship from Daytona. An interesting race, but I think the story of the night, Leclerc domination. Is this going to set a fire under the Frenchman, and can he close this gap down to Carter moving into the second half?
Yeah, I mean, got a couple points, 5 points on Carter today. So that's going to move from 19 to 14. So series maybe does start at Daytona. Kellen. I don't want to say it, but it's time for him to go. I think we were talking at the beginning of the race of maybe getting back to a 1-race lead. You didn't want it to hit 26 points. That's dangerous for these guys. So the fact that he was able to come in tonight, itch away at that point lead, I think is really important for Leclerc. And Braden Carter's now got to kind of keep his eyes out and keep his eyes open and watch out for Leclerc for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. If you missed it earlier, Rasmus Balzer wins the 250 main event, but Bryce Whelan does extend his championship lead with a second place finish. Looks like this is Bryce Whelan's season to lose here in this 250 East standings. So that's kind of your story tonight from Daytona. Kellen Brower, Andrew Wood bringing you guys the action. Really appreciate all the fans that tune in every week. Thank you guys so much for the support. It's always awesome to have a lively chat, and you guys were great tonight. Want to give a final shout out, of course, to MotoOption Clothing for being the title sponsor of this series, as well as Race Tech Suspension, Underground RC, and Phil Ski and Snowboard for being supporting sponsors of this championship. Big shout out to Init Esports and Race Factor Gaming for putting on this series, as well as the Race Factor Gaming track crew for another awesome track, and of course Holtzy for the opening ceremonies videos here tonight. From all of us here at Start Your Systems, from Andrew Wood to Kellen Brower and all of you guys that tuned in tonight for watching, thanks for tuning in for round 8 of the AMA Esport Motocross Supercross Series in MX Simulator. And we'll see you guys next week in Indianapolis. Bye-bye for now.